I just go like this at the beginning?
10.
Yep.
I guess we're starting.
Yeah, just do that.
8,
Okay.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
G'day guys, and welcome to Tales from the Undertaker. My name is Michael, and I am the GM from Ask A Pathfinder. With me today, of course, are the somewhat usual crew of Color Circuit. We have, of course, Justin and Zach playing Darby and Khalil. But here for the very first time is Rilka, who is going to be playing the role of a very familiar NPC character named Neville. And joining us from another distant place in the same continent as everyone but myself, is of course my good friend Templeton, who writes for Dark Cloud blogs. G'day, Templeton.
Hey.
Now, sadly, we cannot see your face. I feel like that is a favor to myself. No, I kid. No.
Well,
we
I
just
get times 4 more, so.
Damn.
What is your character's charisma?
It's like worse than mine.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so there you go. That's why the character has a helmet now. So thank you guys for joining us here
Actually,
on
it's a
Color
13.
Circuit. Actually, give me 2 seconds, because apparently I can do a thing now. So if I do this and that and this and that and the other, you should be able to watch me on Facebook as well. So that's a thing. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Woo! Stuff, magic,
Everyone
science, and
knows
technology.
it's not real unless it's on Facebook.
Well, exactly. That's how I feel.
Now we
That's
finally
what-
exist.
That's
how I claim
the way
to be
I
already.
exist. Like, quite literally, the way I exist is like Beetlejuice. You basically have to say, "Ask a Pathfinder, ask a Pathfinder," and if you say it the 3rd time, I show up. Okay, guys. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. This is very chaotic. Sadly, 2 of our usuals are unavailable for today, but we have these 2 amazing people who are going to be joining us for Tales from the Undertaker, a custom horror Pathfinder RPG adventure of my own devising. But you guys don't want to hear that from me. As always, we are going to be doing the recap from the perspective of one of our very notable and very renowned NPCs, the Undertaker. Actually, give me 2 moments. I need to go get the Undertaker.
That guy always running off when you need him. The Undertaker.
The Undertaker, man, he's got a stressful job, though. You know?
More like the long taker. Am I right? No, I don't know.
Underwhelming taker.
Oh, wow. Oof. Things off camera. Oh, shit.
Greetings and welcome. Apparently that idiot left my hat in the other room. I am the Undertaker, keeper of the dead, and teller of tales most grisly. As always, we are here to talk about a story that may or may not have happened in a land distant and far from our own, where sweepers try to carve names for themselves in the annals of history. We follow one such group, the Howlin' Agents, led by Khalil Howlin. They currently find themselves in Carrion Hill, a place wrought with the undead, people scrambling for shelter, hiding, huddled, cold, and starving. Our heroes have traveled far and seen many places and found many survivors, but has no hope of salvation. As the hordes of undead continue to amass, the group must find it within themselves to gather their strength to save people. Last week, we found our heroes trapped between 2 hordes of the undead, after escaping from the narrow clutches of one of the crow zombies, vicious undead with an unnatural intelligence, as they felled their poor pet Pogo. But this was not the end of Pogo. For later, when they found a lighthouse filled with survivors, they were told of a place where they could go in order to restore and find a escape carriage, something that was built to withstand vast armies of attacks. And it was indeed Pogo who helped them escape. Strapping Pogo to the side of this wagon, they have managed to burst forth from the confines, escaping the fire and smoke-spewing blacksmith that guarded it, arriving now at the church, where they hope to evacuate Neville, the source of their, well, money, as they try to save this helpless individual from the clutches of the undead. They entered the church only to find that they were not alone, and it was not Neville waiting for them, but in fact, a priestly man who seemed injured. He named himself Father Obadiah. The priest spoke softly and kindly, and lulled our heroes into a false sense of security before lunging and revealing his true visage as a member of the undead, his face melting away, revealing the Hakuva within. He reaches out and he grabbed poor Raylan. And now we find out. What will happen to our heroes? Will they survive this encounter? Yeah. All right.
It's all right, guys. It's all right, guys. We can do this. I mean.
Oh, is there? Oh, we got a thing.
This is how I'm going to die.
All right. So, thank you, Undertaker. Again, I do apologize. He actually lives in this hat. He possesses me when I wear it. So, yeah, it's actually really terrifying. Someone call an exorcist. Okay. So, so here's how this works. Basically, at this point in time, Darby and Khalil, you are standing before this large creature as it holds your friend by the neck. And it looks with these hollow eyes that seem to glow with this unearthly necrotic light. Now, as he speaks, he suddenly seems distracted by something, almost as if someone is whispering into his ear. He looks back at Raylan. Not now. He reaches forward and unravels one of his sleeves on which is written runes and symbols. I feel really bad because he's going to be here for like 2 seconds, but that is the picture of the individual you see. And as he unravels it, he begins to chant, still holding on to Raylan. Suddenly, Geralt, realizing that he needed to spring into action, leaps forward, and in a blast of light and smoke, the whole room is filled with this white wash of blue and yellow light, as suddenly there is silence. The Hakuva, Geralt, and Raylan are nowhere to be seen. From below, you can hear the sounds of a door opening, a trapdoor, in fact, emerging from which is a familiar character, the alchemist, the target of your protection for at least hopefully a while. Neville emerges.
Neville.
Oh, hey guys, you're back.
You were hiding under there the whole time?
Working, trying to solve this plague.
Do I know what spell that was?
You can make a spellcraft check in order to identify what literally what just happened.
So that's an Arcana check?
No, that is a spellcraft check.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 20.
Ooh, nice.
You realize that it was a short-range teleportation spell called Dimension Door. Now, Dimension Door normally doesn't actually, sort of, how can I put it? I'm just adjusting camera for things. There we go. Yep, so normally Dimension Door, you need to kind of have, sort of be able to cast it as a spell and you can identify it. But from reading a scroll, it's part of it's already written and it's simply a matter of completing the spell. It's what's called a spell completion item. So he was clearly prepared to basically grab someone and bail, or even just get out if brought into a very tight situation, which you were very successful in. Because something or someone seems to have called to this creature and summoned them. So who and what that is completely up in the air, but sadly he's taken your two companions with him.
Yeah, where are Geralt and Raylan?
Neville, where would they have gone? Where would someone have taken them?
I have no idea.
Who took them?
you hear a banging on the doors, which still remain barricaded.
That's not our secret knock.
That is.
Darby will go look and see who it is.
Peering out the window, you see in horror an armored individual who wears the cloak of the crows.
Do I recognize him as one who might have snatched?
It looks
Father
like one of
Obadiah?
those crow people outside, but he's knocking.
Like one of the zombie monsters?
He's wearing the same armor. Can I
The
try to investigate to see if I can...
How do you wish to investigate?
Religion? I'm not taking religion.
Well, I mean, the thing is the way he's wearing his armor, the full helm that he's got on his head, and the cloak that rests over his shoulders, his features are so obscured that you wouldn't be able to identify if he were an undead or not.
Okay.
I want to burst through the door and try to grab him.
The door's
Oh,
like
man.
bolted. It's like...
It's barricaded.
Anymore.
It's like
I thought we came
barricaded.
through it. Oh, we barricaded it?
No, you did, but as you recall, when Father Obadiah was there, he distracted you guys by getting you guys to rebuild the barricade as he was pretty much making the moves on Raylan. Giggity.
I'm going to tear it down.
Gonna tear it down?
Clutches his bombs tight,
All right.
nervously.
Okay. Khalil reaching forward for the...
Oh, I will.
Well, don't let it in first. Try talking to it first. Who's there?
I need to find out where they are.
all right. All right, so Templeton.
Perception 19 to listen to what's going on inside.
Well, you've heard pretty much both sides of the conversation. You've heard them basically say, tearing down the barricade, and then somebody yelling out, no, don't let them in, talk to them first. You've heard all of that. And obviously you've heard one individual in particular shout out, who goes there.
It's like, I actually have my shield and my sword already because if there's undead, I'm going to be prepared. I'll lift out the visor. There, and go.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Lifting up his visor, you could see a human beneath it, with a quite a nice and lush beard.
Okay, so he doesn't look like an undead, but neither did that last guy that just took half a party.
The undead take all shapes and sizes. I've seen them all.
Neville's seen some shit.
Who are you?
By the way, I found the rest of your notes.
Oh,
We'll go with
It's like, Officer Grant of the Crows.
Officer Grant of the Crows.
Wait.
I know that name.
Do you?
Grant?
Yes, he's a well-renowned figure in this town.
Do you think he's still okay?
I don't know.
How would... He
Is
could still
anyone
be a
okay?
zombie. He believed the preacher, too.
We all did.
Preacher was no zombie.
I got to hear you guys.
Oh. Well, this is awkward.
What does that matter? You're not in here.
Let's open the door.
It's like, I'll be in there.
Grant,
Second.
can you make me a perception check, please?
Fortunately, this one's only a 3.
All right.
Unlike
With
the
a
last
3
one.
With a 3, as Officer Grant continues to bang on the door, not demanding entrance, but sort of very strongly requesting it, he doesn't notice as a large contingency of undead have slowly started to make their way around. He seems to be more infuriated at the fact that he is being, basically delayed from his business. There is quite a mass of them. As they get closer, anyone who is looking out the window may make a perception check as well.
I'm looking at my notes.
Hey, let me in. Knocking with the hand sword.
Dobby got a 17.
Yeah, unnatural 20.
Okay, Neville?
All right.
Neville's busy scrambling through the papers that he's just been
Yes.
handed. He's
Okay. Yep, I'll get to Neville in a second. With Darby and Khalil, they very much see that the undead seem to be approaching the person, you know, sort of banging on the door. You kind of get the.
Sorry.
No, go. Did you ever?
Did he have his weapon drawn?
He does now. He's sort of banging on the door with the hilt of his, with the pommel of the sword. And you see the zombies seem to be moving towards him, and he doesn't seem to notice.
Hush, we can't make too much noise. They'll hear us.
Knock.
There's zombies coming. We should let him in, but can you sheath your weapon?
We don't have much time to waste. Get inside. Let's open the doors.
Okay.
What?
I open the doors.
Neville,
Khalil opens the doors.
All right. So as Khalil frantically pulls stuff out of the way, the doors swing open, and Templeton sort of walks in. But as soon as he does, a red mist seems to enter with him. Now you notice this as he sort of bursts forward. It almost seems as though the mist is trailing him, and then you sort of slam the door shut and start barricading it quickly because the undead are not far behind. The mist begins to coalesce in the center of the room, and as it does so, appearing from said mist appears to be another crow dressed in almost identical, well, pretty much identical attire, except leather instead of full plate. And it seems to be missing both arms.
What is this? What did you bring in here with you?
That's him.
Grant.
Oh, what's going on?
You recognize the creature in front of you as a fallen comrade. Again, your character knows this person to be...
This is why we shouldn't trust anyone.
I agree.
This is Seret. Seret was, like you, a guard as well, but was taken by the undead. And obviously, he is no longer, well, his normal self. Roll initiative.
Is that with me?
Stupid boy always getting us
in
in
here for? Neville got a 15.
Grant had.
Grant got a 10?
Yep.
Khalil got a 13.
Darby got a 22.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Now, to, of course, also bring a point to our beloved person behind the scenes, the editor. If the editor could fetch our bloody skeleton image, that would be incredible. In the meantime, however, we are going to begin this combat with the skeleton, who lurches forward, almost like without his arms. He almost has this serpentine kind of lean to him as he speaks. You will become one of us. Join the ranks of your brothers, Grant.
Yikes.
Is there anything you would like to say in response?
Crows aren't about that shit. Cling!
All right.
Shut the visor.
Okay, you shut. Basically, in a most dramatic fashion, he takes up a military stance, flicks his head forward, and the visor. As the creature leaps forward, teeth bared. Natural 20.
Of course.
Shit.
Good. Welcome to the game, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're dead.
Just die. Just die. Welcome to the game. Just die.
Yep, that's pretty much it. All right. Sinking its teeth into his flesh.
He finds that one spot in between.
10, 14. That is 14 points of damage on the critical hit.
Dang.
Fuck you, Serent.
And
I never liked you anyways.
I slept with your wife. Could you also make me a fortitude save, please?
Oh, shit.
Ooh. Neville is not feeling this.
Ugh, this is 7.
We're all just going to die.
Okay. There is there's
And
now
you
a
and Sheep
huge
have never
bite
come to
mark.
this stupid town.
There's a huge bite mark on the side of his neck and shoulder, as the creature manages to penetrate the thick plate mail with its fangs. Darby.
Darby's going to chuck a bomb at him.
Always a good call. Bombs.
Is it just Grant that's standing right next to him?
Yes, it is only currently Grant who is adjacent to the creature.
All right. How? I can't. I guess I could ask, but it wouldn't really. All right, fine. I'm not gonna throw a smoke bomb. Okay, just regular bomb. But I'll use the precise bomb to exclude the square that Grant's in, since he seems to at least not be friends with that thing.
Okay.
Um, 9.
9.
Yes.
German for no. He's just telling you.
Yes, that's pretty much it.
Alright.
Okay.
It
So,
whisked right over him.
Oh, no.
Smashes against the wall.
yeah.
Firebomb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you end up doing is you end up throwing the bomb. Roll me a D4, please. And then a D8.
So I got a 4 and a 3.
4 and a 3.
Fine.
Okay, with a 4 and a 3, your bomb goes wide and explodes against one of the walls. The flames sort of trickle down from the sides, burning through some very, very, very important-looking Pharasman, sort of artworks and things like that.
Good thing you aren't a cleric, huh?
No. None of that matters right now. So, whatever.
The only thing that matters is my research.
Okay. Cool. All right,
Waste
next.
fucking bomb.
All right, next up is Neville.
This evil that's brought in here, I'll use my tar, my specially formulated tar. So as a movement action, Neville whips out this nasty black glob of goo, lights it on fire, and hurls it towards the abomination that stands before him. Oh, and he did pretty damn good. That is a 19 to hit with a tar bomb.
19 will most certainly hit as it explodes in a big gout of fire. The skeleton, you can sort of see like the edges of the raven cloak start to burn under the flames. Roll your damage.
Oh, perfect. I got a 1. That's right. His raven cloak lit on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Totally smoked him.
But don't forget you get to add your intelligence to that as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, in that case, I got a 5.
Bam.
Yeah. Take that, raven cloak. Get out of my sanctum.
Okay, with 5 points of damage. Excellent.
Darby,
Fire
that's how you're supposed to hit
And it
people.
sticks to him, too. It's
Right,
this
so next turn he
flaming,
takes a
burning
D6 or
pustule.
Yes, it does. Okay. Oh, sorry, wait, no, this is the tar bomb, isn't it?
There's the tar bomb, yeah.
Yep, so that's, so that's, all right, next up we have Khalil.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Please do something.
I'm gonna walk up as close as I can, and I'm going to spend one of my what are they called? One of my arcane pulls to use my Magus Arcana to select the element fire, but cast it through my sword instead and use a melee attack.
So you
Okay.
choose a weapon with fire.
All
And
right,
-2.
excellent. Yep, make it so.
Well,
Make
this
it
one.
so-so.
No, it's bad.
Yeah.
That is an 11.
11.
Probably some misses going on.
Well, as you swing, you would have normally actually struck the creature. However, you for a moment forget that while you are striking him from the back, behind where his cloak would be, as you stab, almost certain that you would stab him, you realize very quickly that he has no arms, and that your attack had gone off to the side.
Oh, Khalil.
Oh man. It's a Khalil.
Khalil.
Right there.
Yeah. I feel like what we need to do is we need to make a highlight video of Khalil's best and most disappointing moments, because it's really funny to see him sit there like really excited, like yes, no.
Like trying to jump through the window.
Oh.
Everything.
Oh, there's a list. Eddie
Trying to
Tor,
get that monster
that's
and the monster threw him at me.
oh yeah. All right, Grant, we now move to you. The creature, who was formerly a friend, has attacked you viciously.
Could I take a 5-foot step to get flanking off of Khalil?
You already have flanking with Khalil.
Nice. All right. I will take up a defensive stance to fight defensively after I just took that massive hit.
Mhm.
And away with my sword.
Okay. Make your attack.
One.
Perfect.
You know, guys, there's only so much I can do to help you. You know, like I'm just saying. You know, like
I just
Yeah.
I'll even describe
this
it
guy
myself.
has no arms.
No. That's nothing but rib and air.
So once again, as Grant takes up his blade, he feels that, you know, he sort of swings his soldier and mercenary training, guiding his hand as the blade swings through the air. But in a moment of hesitation, this tiny fleeting moment, he realizes that he once called this individual friend. He pulls the attack and misses, which provokes the creature into its next strike. It leans backwards, kicking Khalil with the hefty side of its foot, raking across his pretty young face. That is a 15 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a total of 6 points of damage as the foot leaves a gash across your face. It's pretty nasty. It basically is like this donkey kick, but because he no longer has muscles or a hip, it's like this perfectly executed bolt that just sort of collides with your jaw. However, when he does so, you notice that he is in fact off balance. Any attempt to trip him during this round will receive a +2 bonus. Okay. Next up, we have Darby.
Burn him, Darby.
Or as we like to call him down here, Dazza.
All right, so Darby is going to
By the way, to editor, I did notice Mario.
Darby's going to take out from his different pouches, mixing them together in the bag, and he's just gonna swoop it over his head and try to just smack it right in the chest. And he's using precise bombs to negate the spaces Khalil and Grant occupying.
Okay.
And god damn it, it's gonna work this time. 19 to hit.
Sadly, 19 will actually hit.
Sadly.
Yes, no, 19 actually collides and the bomb explodes in a shower of glass and flame. Roll your damage, please.
Nice.
He takes 6 plus. He takes 12 fire damage.
12 fire damage. All right. Good. All right. Sweet.
And that's a full action to do that. So
It is indeed. So moving on from Darby, we goes to our next alchemist, Neville.
Does Neville's tar bomb, does it deal more burning damage at the beginning of his turn or at the beginning of the...
Oh, yes. Sorry. Sorry, I did forget about that. Please roll
problem.
1d6, and I will count that damage.
Does he also add his intelligence modifier to that?
No.
That's just a flat d6. Yeah, I just rolled a 1. So,
High damage here.
yeah, it's okay. These failures pale in comparison to turn the whole town into undead.
Oh, well, that's okay.
I know I did it. At least I have this tar still. I take another globule of tar out, light it on fire, swing it over my head with like a half-hearted war cry, and launch it at him.
All right, your half-hearted war cry is...
That's
as you
exactly
throw
what I sound like. And my roll is about as half-hearted as my war cry was. That was a 6 to hit. This guy isn't just like, I'm not coup de grace him or anything.
You know, I'm just gonna point this out. Like one day, all of
He's
you will
just
have
like
an awesome.
crying.
All right,
Entire round of natural 20s.
yeah, one round of natural 20s. That's all I ask. All right, so roll a d4 for me, please.
All right. 4. Thanks for rolling high now, dice.
Okay, and a d8 for me, please.
Oh my god.
And a
Oh god.
7.
Oh god. Don't
7?
land on me. Don't 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 land on me.
It smashes on the wall, and again drips down the wall. You can see more of the very priceless Pharasman artwork being destroyed. This one actually appeared to be a statue of a raven that had the mask of like a plague doctor, and the flames sort of lighted on fire, and then all that's left is the plague doctor mask on this like skeleton. You know, it's basically burnt off the taxidermied body, and it leaves this like kind of creepy like visage on there, and it's almost like it's looking at the group going, nevermore. All right. Khalil.
Okay, so this guy's still off balance, correct? As of,
yes, he is.
I don't know, like, can I make a lunge attack with my sword into him to also try to push him down? While like, stabbing him?
It'd have to be a troop attack.
You would basically have to do one or the other.
Okay. I'll just strike him with my sword, because as the Magus Arcana works, it stays in effect for 1 minute if I miss.
Ooh. Hang on a second. Sorry. I have just been informed by the beloved Eddie Tor that we have a lot of new viewers, which is fantastic. Yeah. We love doing that. And welcome to the stream. We have a special treat for you guys, and this is something that all of you... Oh, yeah. No. This is where things get interesting, because when we get new viewers and we get people requesting something to happen, we here at Taking Tales from the Undertaker try our best. We have plot twist cards, and now is time for one of these plot twist cards right in the middle of Khalil's turn, because we're better. And I would need a number from one person in the audience between 1 and 51. The editor will then take a look at those numbers, let me know what it is, and I will be throwing in a plot twist as soon as available. All right, Khalil, continue your attack while we continue this one up.
I am going to just swing at him.
No plot twist?
Well done.
What a twist.
I love how he's like, okay, maybe I could do this, maybe I could trip him, I'll backflip, I'll do this thing with a little bit of parkour, grab onto the chandelier, stab him in the head, plot twist. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna hit him.
The first number was 25.
Nice.
The first number was 25. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blah 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 blah. 27.
Hey, before we go through, well done. Let's hits.
Okay. All right. So you need to roll your attack.
Roll my attack. Okay, so I don't know the necessary rules on this. Can I still spend another one of my Arcana points to enhance the weapon, since it was separate from my original Arcana use?
Normally, that's only if you declare it before you make your attack roll.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just didn't know if I could do it in general.
Yes, in general.
Remember, we're flanking, so you have a +2 right now.
Yes.
Oh, also I learned that I didn't have to take a -2 last turn, but it's too late.
Yes. But even if you
So
got
you
that
were
+2,
operating
that
at
one may.
Yeah, okay.
at -4 to what you should have been last turn.
Oh, damn.
No, I already count. If it's any
So that's,
constellation, if it's any constellation, I actually do have your stats here, so I do account for things like flanking and stuff. If you guys forget, I'm
Oh,
that
cool.
kind of
Okay,
nice
cool.
guy.
Nice.
I'm a nice guy.
Oh, man.
That is a
Thank you,
19
Michael.
to hit.
A what? Sorry.
19.
19 will most certainly find purchase in the bony skeleton. As you swing forward, your sword finds purchase in the back quarter of it, taking off large chunks. Make your attack. Or deal your damage.
All right, cool. So that's 6 points of fire damage and 3 points of slashing.
Okay, you seem to deal no slashing damage.
Shit.
However, it seems to be very brutally injured. It actually falls to the ground and seems to be kind of, not helpless, but it seems to be on its last limbs. Grant, it is your turn. Your former
Grant, wait.
ally... Oh, go on.
Don't kill him. I need to find out where Khalil and Geralt are. Sound.
Is there a song? Is that what's going on? Is it the... For Christ's sake! Needs to do the...
No, it's like dramatic squirrel music.
Oh, is it?
No.
It's like the Jaws song, right?
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's the Jaws sound.
That's
I like it.
not very. That's really ominous for this plot.
There's the follow.
I love it. I love
What?
it. By the way,
Nice.
I greatly appear. Oh, is that more ominous thingies, or is that the jump
Something
around one?
happened.
No.
Oh yeah.
This
he's
is the jump one.
No, I want the scary ones. Thank you very much for subscribing. Again, everything that you guys do to come here, check it out, and support it, help us make more shows like this. So, thanks, guys. All right, so, okay, so Khalil has yelled to Grant, suggesting that he not kill the creature before him. Grant.
What I've noticed that his slashing weapon wasn't very useful.
You did notice this.
Right. So you'll see Grant drop his longsword.
It lands to the floor with a clang and a clatter.
Dang. Not done. And then I look across from him so you can see the eyes of my visor. There's no negotiating with the undead. And then I will shield drop onto this dude.
All right, as you lift your shield into the air, the creature looks at you and in its last words of defiance says, "I'll give my regards to the captain in hell." And wham! The bones shatter to the ground, leaving nothing but a bloody mess. However, you notice that the bloody mess is still twitching.
It's twitching.
Oh, it's
I
so
don't
twitching.
like getting near.
I'm gonna run up to
Burn
it
it,
and
burn it,
see if
burn
it's
it.
still if it's still like
Yes, I agree.
cognizant.
Hold on.
Kill it with
To draw a point that happened in one of the previous episodes that some may know and some may have forgotten, do you recall that these creatures had regenerative capabilities?
Oh, the bloody.
Yeah.
ones,
Yes.
And do you recall how you managed to stop said regenerative capabilities?
Yeah.
The potion?
Anything that basically heals.
Wasn't it the potion?
Correct. Anything that heals or does life-giving energy. So you do recall this this information?
No, we do.
Been
Um,
cooped up in the.
I'll pick my sword back
Church,
up and
I
put it in my
know.
sheath and
Yep.
flick the blood off my shield.
This thing's going to get back up. It only dies if it gets touched by like healing energy. It's still moving.
And if you have
You might have
a
a
healing
potion?
potion,
Wait. Dobby, can we use this thing to find Geralt?
I don't think so.
Is there any?
As an alchemist, I should have a healing potion. Why did I plan for this? Why?
Probably
Oh.
because you've already used them.
how much goo
is
is
that-
there?
Hang on one second. Perception checks from everyone, please, as we continue. To answer your question on how much goo is there, there is probably enough to fill a reasonable-sized pail.
Is there
19
a
for
box
Khalil.
or a vase or something around?
There is. In fact, those of you who got over 15 will notice that there is a basin filled with holy water next to the altar.
I want to run up and grab that.
My perception is not high enough to see it. I had a 6.
Grab the basin?
16.
Yeah.
You got the
Just
whole
a bit.
basin.
Oh wait, I want to grab. Oh, the basin's not like a cup. It's like a. Like
No,
a
it's
full,
like well, yeah, you can lift the bowl off the stand that it's on, but it's filled with water, so you can like tip out the water and go scoop up the
see-
ooze if you want.
Okay,
I finally wait. I pull out and I give him a vial.
I grab the vial and I scoop some of it and I run back to the monster.
Mhm.
And
Just dump it on.
does it look like? How does it look? Does he have a face?
It's a
spaghetti.
yeah, okay, yeah. It's basically alphabetic spaghetti. That's at this point in time. That's literally what you are looking at. You're not, it's this blob with bones and bits of sinew.
I'll just pour the vial on him.
Alright, you sort of okay.
Good
You've got a
choice.
basin in 2 hands with a vial sort of between your thumb and your index finger. It's a reasonable thing. Okay, so you want to tip the vial. You sure you don't want to give the
I
basin?
still have the basin.
Do you want to put the basin down?
Yes, I would like to put the basin down.
Okay, you put the basin down. You go with the vial and you pour it over it. You hear this sizzling sound. Smoke begins to rise from the air, and the bloody stumpy bits all simultaneously stop twitching.
Cool.
Neville begins to frantically scribble anew. Oh, yes, maybe holy water is the solution.
Darby spits
Which
on
goes
it.
to Neville as he pulls out his journal, which he very much does, like as a habit. He just sort of reaches out and as soon as he goes to write, he realizes, wait, I have my journal. I was given my journal. Quickly pouring through it and having a look. Oops, sorry. Quickly pouring through it and looking through his notes, Neville finds that what Darby had mentioned the other day was absolutely correct. There is no possible combination of the reagents used in your experiment that could have caused any of the undead to awaken. You are 100% not the cause. Something else is. You are guiltless in this, and you have spent the last 3 days trying to solve this problem that was not your fault to begin with.
So,
Such an idiot.
do you understand now that you didn't cause this and maybe can act a little more sane?
Can anyone act sane in a situation like this? The dead are rising. I might not have caused it, but I'll still stop it. I've been trying to find out how to stop this. It's something I can do.
There's a lot of people who need our help. Grant, where did you come from?
The
I was part of the
god.
unit of Shadows.
Where
and,
were you just now?
The shadows.
Crows. Shadows is a subunit. Crows overarching subunit. My unit was Shadow within the Crows.
The shadow
And
guys.
we were ordered to hold up, but section of us got isolated. I'm looking for Captain Gregor. Have you seen him anywhere?
Have we seen Captain Gregor?
You have not seen Captain Gregor anywhere.
I haven't seen much out of these pages.
We haven't. Thank you very much for your help, Grant, right?
Yes, I'm sorry I let this thing in here. I was just to find any other crows that might be out here. And
No problem. We're all fine, no harm, no foul, but we got to go find our friends
Raymond.
and get Nevin out of here and back to his uncle so we can get paid and forget about all this.
We have to go to the town hall, right?
We got to find our friends.
I'm assuming that the monster took them to the other monster that we heard about. all I
are some
know.
of these things collecting people?
They took our friend Raylan and Geralt.
It was the preacher. He tricked all of us.
More intelligent undead might collect people. Might be.
The only reason I trusted him was because you said that he let you in and protected
the
you.
guy did let me in. He saved me until he was snatched from this building by a crow. I thought I told you that.
Grant
Yeah, I didn't know he was
awkwardly
back.
Grant awkwardly looks with about this. You very quickly realize that the crows were obviously victimized, because don't forget that Darby and Khalil, both of you have seen several living crows at the lighthouse protecting the lighthouse from the hordes of the undead.
Not all the crows are dead, just the skeleton-y ones.
Yes. In particular, you have seen very, very, very few of them. There is only one that is thus far unaccounted for. Recalling that you were told about one, which was one that had stolen Rosenvale's firearms, which you now have in your possession. That is the one you have just killed. The second was one that was in a... Yep, the second was the one in the cheese shop, which you also killed. If you were to describe that to Grant, he would tell you that is Henderson, another officer like himself. The third that you've seen was the one that you entered the city and Khalil saw on the wall. This one, however, does seem to be notable in some way. Grant, hearing... sorry, I assume, Khalil, you will tell Grant about that, or... Yeah. Grant, hearing about this, you're filled with a sense of both deniability, that denial and that sense of hope. Hope because maybe it is the captain, but the captain is too strong. He wouldn't die for something like that. Maybe it's a ruse. Maybe it's a plan. Maybe he threw his armor out and escaped. Like a skeleton looks like a skeleton looks like a skeleton. There's no guarantee it's the captain. You know what I mean? Okay. Now
that basin you said was holy water, right?
Yes.
I mean, I looked at the guys.
Yeah, we should take some.
Yes.
That's what I was about to say. You saw got all those little vials on you. Perhaps we should fill it up.
I have 4 vials on me.
Then you can have 4 vials of holy water.
My shop is right across the street. Were there any flasks still intact there?
It was pretty destroyed.
Yeah, I tried looking for books. You don't have much.
All right. Can we
also
get a
got
picture?
ambushed.
Editor, can we get a picture of Carrion Hill, please?
Can you... So the description of the other person who rode towards the manor was like a man on a horse, right? I can't remember the full description.
I can use my
Which one? Sorry.
holy water now.
There was something about someone who was like headed towards the manor, like a...
Oh yes,
dark figure
oh
on a
yes,
horse.
yep, a heavily armored figure on a horse. Oh, by the way, guys, a big thank you to, of course, our audience member who had picked plot twist number 25. Sorry, 20. Was it 25?
25.
Yeah.
Yes,
25. The twist was not as it seems, which I'm trying to not overexpose. There we go. Not as it
There we
seems,
go.
which has basically turned what would otherwise have been a rather mundane encounter with one of the skeletons into a very interesting encounter, perhaps for later. So thank you very much. It is always good to see these plot twists coming in. So we'll see what happens as we go through. Now, looking at the map here, you are currently at the Elmway Church, which is a church to Pharasma. Your current quests will lead you either to Crown Manor, where you can contend with what is the knight that is supposed to be over there, and save the survivors, including one of the Helsing, who are a group of very notable sweepers like yourself. Alternatively, you can bring your armored vehicle to the lighthouse and start evacuating the crows and the people there.
Everyone at the lighthouse seems pretty protected right now. The people of the manor might die.
Yeah, the manor's being attacked. That's more than likely where
Raylan and them might be there
Raylan
too.
and
If they're truly intelligent undead leading
Geralt
this
are.
assault.
I don't ask you to come with us, Grant, but we're heading to the manor right now. I mean,
Right.
you're a guard.
we
in
do
this
ask
town,
you to come
so-
with us.
No, this is... I feel tied to this town.
Hopefully, if you're taking people, maybe they grabbed my captain. He's there too, so I will join you. Sir, what are we in right now? A church or something? Given that there was holy water.
You are in
Yes,
a church of Pharasma.
Could I look around, check the place for maybe a healing potion or something?
Can we also maybe think we're just gonna rush back in? You're almost dead. Just a rules question. It's 10 minutes for the short rest, right?
I really wish it was. There's no short rest in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
I was saying, that's 5e.
For shame.
yeah.
No. It's
So we have
okay
to sleep.
because
There's no.
without saying a word to you
can
as you
spend hit
ponder
dice.
how to survive, Grant walks over to what appears to be one of the large walls and sees a statue of the goddess Pharasma seated on a chair looking very regal with her wild and pale hair. He twists the statue, sliding it off its pedestal and off to the side onto a different platform, and within a small cache of resources donated by the church emerges from within. You can see that that basically there are several vials and several bottles. In the bottles, you can find 6 potions of cure moderate wounds.
Nice.
You can also find a scroll of lesser restoration.
As soon as I open that thing up, I'm grabbing one of those potions and drinking it.
Yeah, she
So
should
one's
probably
good,
have one of
one's
those
gone.
too.
And of course, you find a letter.
Just take one and drink it.
I'll drink it. It's a potion of lesser.
No, it's moderate.
Moderate.
That's
And I'm
2d8
sorry,
plus
what was
3,
the
right?
scroll?
Sorry, 2d8 plus 5.
What was the
And a-
scroll?
Lesser restoration.
Lesser restoration.
That is correct.
This letter. As I see this bulky figure in armor just grab the potion, start chugging it. I go over there to investigate, make sure these are good potions, and grab the letter. I think I'd be interested in those. Neville would be.
Oh,
Also,
All
I
of
believe it's only fair since they took 2. We should take the other 2.
I think
It's like, then after I down that potion, cork in the other hand, I'm like, oh, so much better. Walk over to the basin of holy water, fill that up, clock it, and put it into like pouches or something in my armor.
yeah, you most certainly very happily and easily do that as the rest of you continue to retrieve items from the cache. Now, Grant, not that it matters, but this is actually a crow safety stash. So whether or not you're happy, I mean, if you're happy to share, then that's all well and good. I'm going to leave you to ponder that for a moment as we go back to our audience in Twitch. Now, this letter is very important, very interesting. And I have a second set of plot twist cards. These ones here are called flashback cards. So this will kind of shape what is contained within the letter. So again, I need a number between 1 and 51 from any member of our audience. And when we get that, the letter and its writings will be unveiled. In the meantime, is anyone else healing? Just to keep track of who's healing what?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I took one of the potions, I guess, and I drank it. And I full
Yep.
health. So you know.
Cool.
Darby's good on health.
Yeah, Neville's all right.
Awesome.
Oh, Darby
Roland's saying if there's coffee, I'd take that.
Spend a minute to make a potion.
17 was the first of the numbers to come in.
17.
Nice.
All right.
So yeah,
Alright,
Darby's
let's
gonna
see.
pull out his alchemy sets and make out a potion real quick before staying here for a minute.
Oh, what kind of potion you making there, Darby?
While he's working
Okay.
on that, I'm going to evaluate the outside situation. Like, you look through the window, visor's back up.
This is a very interesting potion that kind of sheathes me in electrical energy, makes me harder to hit, and whenever they do, at any time, I can dismiss it and do electricity damage to everything around me,
I'll have to scribble
including
down that.
myself.
Oh,
But I also have energy resistance to electricity, so
I'll have to
Very
scribble
cool.
down that recipe if you don't mind.
it's shock shield.
Okay. So you're investigating the windows, yeah?
Well, I'm looking outside. You're looking outside.
Yeah. Outside, where you saw the horde once now seems to be gone, and large swaths of blood and body parts seem to be kind of littering the area. Oh no, my cat got in. Okay. They seem to be littering the area, torn apart by some manner of creature. You can't really see the creature as of yet, but you're fairly sure that something is eating the undead. As for the
I know
plot
what
twist,
that is.
flashback. Now, Grant, you will need to thank whoever did this because we have pulled the familiar face card. So this letter is actually from Captain Gregor Harkness,
Give me that.
who is
Gregor Hark. Oh.
to whom it may concern. This is the acting captain of the Crows as of the date 4169. Gregor Harkness. If you're reading this, then a terrible fate has befallen the great city of Carrion Hill. It will fall to you to hold vigil. Be aware, there are several safe houses around, and there are plenty of places that the civilians may hide. However, the Crows are not without their own resources. This is one of many caches that exist. You too can find other places where armor, weapons, and other tools will be available to you. If you make your way towards the graveyard, you will find that the Undertaker there may have some items of use. Our second supply cache is food and resources, kept at the lighthouse, beneath its very foundation. The third is, of course, an armory, secreted and kept away, deep within Slipper's Market. It is guarded by a great beast, an Otyug by the name of Pogo, an interesting pet that I had once acquired from a traveling merchant. He lives there and is rather peaceful. Do not harm him. I have grown quite fond of him despite his rather large size.
Pogo's awesome.
If you're reading this, and I am not with you, then may Pharasma be with you, and may the shining light be forever gleaming in the darkness that lies ahead of you. Captain Gregor Harkness.
So, Garth, what's in that letter?
So I put my visor down.
Grant.
I
Sorry.
put my
Grant.
visor down so they can't see the manly tears. They're always over to my beard. Weird.
Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay, we've spent enough time. Are we ready to go?
It's like
I've
appears
spent-
We should
that
go to the church, right?
Excuse me?
We should
there
go
may
to
be some
church.
stops you guys or we
sorry,
may
sorry,
want-
guys.
There's some stops
Sorry.
you guys may want to make. Like, we've left some caches. If there's a greater intelligent undead going on here, if we work together, we're probably going to need these. And I hand the letter over to him, pointing to
Okay.
like where it starts talking about the spots.
Okay,
So-
reading the letter once more, you realize that the spots are the following. There is food under the lighthouse. There are tools for helping in the graveyard, as kept by the Undertaker. The Slippers Market has an armory, and under Slippers Market is a large cache of armor and equipment, as guarded by Pogo.
It was guarded by Pogo,
So
right?
we've gotten that
Yeah.
one, didn't we?
We didn't get anything. Pogo just burst out of the ground. So this giant hole where he was protecting, basically.
Tools sound helpful.
Am I familiar with the Undertaker?
Yes and no. I mean, like, the Undertaker is a very interesting character. People tend to avoid him in general. He is very bizarre, and he lives in the graveyard, in a very small shack. He does not come into town, and very few people know him beyond the Undertaker.
I feel like the graveyard might be kind of clear, though.
You're certain the graveyard is clear.
I will mention that. I'm pretty sure, unless I know everything's moving around and everything, but I think I've cleared most of the danger from the graveyard.
That's all well and good. And I agree that we should probably get weapons, but our friends are probably in trouble.
And the people at the manor might be close to dying.
But if you go in
I'm all for
unprepared,
going in prepared, but we
Then you're- it's
also
like, then
gotta
you'll-
consider,
save your friends.
yeah.
If I may be so bold, Khalil, you too look like you're close to dying. Should we not recover?
he-
Not anymore.
he took
After
a
those
potion.
potions, you're feeling better?
I'm feeling better, yes. Thank you.
All right. We
You
cannot
should know
fall.
what potions do.
I know what potions do. Just don't know how his
I feel like
concentration holds up.
that is totally a remix waiting to happen. Do you know what potion do? I know what can potion do.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We'll get it.
Look at this
I'll-
round.
Totally cool.
DJ Neville. Not a cool name.
That's not a cool name. All right.
Sorry,
So-
Neville's out there.
What do you think, Dobby?
Group consensus.
The manor sounds like it might be fruitful. Though tools beforehand, I'm always in favor of.
If we go to get tools, we gotta do it as fast as we can. We don't know how much time we have.
I'm not familiar with the city. Could you two tell us how long it would take us out of the way to go collect these things and then go try to save these people?
Okay. Looking at the map there, Grant explains that you guys are currently at the Elmway Church. Next to Crove's Asylum is an exit leading out to the east, which you can actually see leads down a small path. At the end of this path, literally at the edge of the map, is where you would find Carrion Hill's gravesite, a large and vast graveyard, which is also kind of protected by the Pharasman seals, or at least they were supposed to have been. It is probably about a 30-40 minute jaunt outside of town. But again, once you do that journey, you'll be resetting the hourly fear thing that you are currently undergoing. Now, in addition, Slippers Market, which is, as you can see, slightly towards the central area, is where you would find that large hole that Pogo emerged from. And then Crown Manor is obviously where Crown Manor is, both of which will take you anywhere between 40 minutes to an hour to get to.
Wow, this is a big town.
Dang.
The Silver
Mostly-
Market's also kind of on the
mostly-
way to Crown's Manor.
I more mean walking cautiously and not just sort of running through the streets with hordes of undead there.
So, okay, well, compromise possibly is like, I'll turn to you guys as I am a guest to your party, but at least Silver's Market is at least going in the same direction as your friends.
So I think we can compromise and collect that one, and then,
Alright.
once a less immediate threat is threatening the lives of people.
Especially if this guard beast is already out of the way. Might be wise to get there before the undead ravage it.
Okay, if this is what we feel.
Yeah.
All
We're
right.
going to Slippers
Wise.
Market.
So we'll go to the manor, stopping along the market on the way.
Excellent. Okay. You leave the church, and as you do so, with new equipment in hand, you manage to whistle and summon your steed. Lumbering and charging through the streets, of course, is the ever-lovable Otyugh Pogo, this huge, leathery, lumbering creature with massive elephantile legs and 3 huge tentacles, one of which has several eyes implanted on it, with fangs that grow around its edges, and the other 2 acting as almost mouths and sentries. Its huge, toothy grin hangs a pulpous, toxic-looking tongue that hangs with a breath that looks like it could peel paint and then strip the wood beneath that paint. Tied to him, of course, is the armored wagon, looking very ominous and filled with blood and viscera from when it has clearly been running over people while you were inside the church.
Grant slowly raises his
boy,
visor
Pogo, good
with
boy.
the straight his face. Listen, oh sweet Suckopop, how did you find this like a pet at all, Grant? Or Gregor?
Pogo's
And then
lovely.
cling.
He obeys you? It's
Pet
safe?
Pogo.
He's safe, don't worry.
Fascinating,
Right.
fascinating.
As you pet Pogo, he licks Darby once more. Make a fort save.
Oh.
Okay.
Thwap!
Man.
Grant will walk 15 feet around to the cart.
7.
7. All right. As soon as he licks you, with the smell that is just reminiscent of like moldy cheese, jock straps, You know, and someone like threw some really harsh Tabasco sauce into it, right? And you just gag. You're like, so for the next minute, you're basically nauseated, which is going to stop you from being able to ride the carriage for the time being. Grant takes a wide berth and sort of gets onto the wagon from the back rather than the front. Who wishes to ride Pogo?
I drove him last time, so I'm gonna do it again. I have
All right.
a small amount of experience.
While we're getting ready, I want to take my shield, put it in my back, and pull my bow out.
I'm throwing up.
And I have a question.
Oh, one second. Neville, what are you up to?
I'm busy taking notes on this crazy creature before me. Kind of look like doing that whole like texting while walking thing, kind of stumbling forward and.
Yep, you actually sketch this creature, and you get it quite detailed. It's a fascinating beast, and it doesn't. And again, as you say, it seems to be completely friendly and at least domesticated in some way. Khalil.
Yes.
You were saying something?
Oh, am I able to cast Expeditious Retreat on a beast like Pogo?
Yes.
I shall do that. And then have Pogo ride as fast as we can go.
Okay, make a ride check for me, please, as everyone gets aboard the armored wagon.
Run, Pogo, run. Oh.
2.
Man, what is up with these dice?
2?
Oh. All right, let's make this interesting. Guys in the audience. Guys in the audience. I need a number 1 to 51. Let's go with a plot twist as all of a sudden
Clang, clang, clang.
Basically, Pogo is running so fast, the wagon behind him is airborne. He is not stopping. He is crashing into walls. He's smashing into undead. Basically, you can see, like, if you can imagine, right, what it's like to have, like, a grape on the floor and then to, like, basically roll a bowling ball at, like, 400 miles an hour over that grape, and then the smear that happens, that is literally happening to hundreds of the undead as Pogo is just pulverizing them with its huge weight and the girth of the wagon.
Please, folks.
Oh, we don't have a number yet? All right, so as it does so, I need everyone to make me a reflex save.
Pogo, stop.
Oh, wow, finally, decent roll. 15.
15, all right.
21. Dobby got
21?
21.
Neville just got an 11.
We got 37 on the number, by the way.
I got a 14.
37. 14. All right, 37. Let's have a look at 37. So 14 and 11. Okay, get ready for this. So it was 37, yeah?
Correct.
Damn it!
Or good news.
Damn you, whoever is 37, as you have...
Highlander Wolf.
Highlander Wolf.
We get quick wits.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, using your quick wits, you can nominate one person to make a wisdom save. Now, if you make your wisdom save, you will, with your very, very quick wits, use the straps that are on the side of the wagon, which are used to bind some of the armor, basically ripping that off the side of the mount, whipping it forward, grabbing hold of the reins, and basically driving from inside the carriage, which up until that point was impossible.
I think since Khalil's driving and it makes sense.
One person makes the wisdom check, and no one's allowed to talk about what your wisdom is.
That's what I'm saying. I just think Khalil should make the check. That's all I'm saying.
Neville?
Khalil will make the wisdom check.
Okay.
Hey.
Did I tell you? I tell you the number, right?
Yeah, no, you can just keep the number to yourself. I will try and guess it using the powers of magic. Is this your card? No. Tell me a damn number.
17.
17. All right. With a 17, as Khalil is sort of sitting there, he has lost the reins. The reins are gone. He sort of reaches down, rips at this wire. You hear this clang as one of the plates hit the ground. He lashes at it, Indiana Jones style, grabs hold of it and pulls the reins back. Pogo skids to a halt. Everyone who made their reflex save is fine. Everyone who got lower than 15 slides and just barely hangs on to the side of the wagon. They're kind of leaning offwards, and as they do, they sort of hit the sides of buildings and one or two undead. And of course, take 1 point of damage, because I can't roll for anything right now. As you basically get buffeted against the walls and against the undead. Pogo screeches to a stop, Tokyo Drift style. The wagon's rear end slides to a grinding halt as as Darby hyperventilates and opens the door to try and get some fresh air. He goes to step out and quickly catches himself and stops as he realizes that there is no ground in front of the door. It is the massive hole into the sewers that Pogo had left when he burst up from there in the first place. You are literally, like, the wheels are millimeters from the precipice of this fall.
Can I look over his shoulder and see how deep the hole is?
The hole is 40 foot deep.
I'll push him in.
Shit.
Okay. Make a combat maneuver check. So CMB
No, I said I
versus...
won't push him in.
Oh, you won't? Oh, sorry. Oh.
It's really going.
That's not what I had. It's like, aha, betrayal. Okay. All right. So what do you go to now?
Anyone got a rope?
To make sure he wasn't a zombie.
Yeah, there are ropes.
Probably have one. No, I just have my notes.
Where are the ropes?
You can find-
I have a rope in my.
Why don't we just go in the way we came in?
That was through the manor.
Here.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I have a.
Does the hole look climbable at all, or is it just like a smooth board tunnel almost?
It is Oh, okay. You know what? Give me a second.
Nope, never mind. I'm sorry. I don't have a rope. I was wrong.
I searched through the cart for.
Make a perception check.
With a 6.
With the 6, you find nothing. Okay, so hopefully you guys can somewhat see that. Basically, the top here is you got the road, and then you've got the hole in the middle. You've then got like this sort of almost a spherical chamber with a whole pile of garbage that seems to be piled up. The 40-foot fall goes from the top to the top of the pile.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn. So I remember that I have chains that the fire dude dropped. How long are those?
You haven't brought them out yet, but they're about 60 foot.
I want to try to look for a place that I can attach the chains to and kind of make a makeshift.
Yeah, you can definitely do that off the wagon. The wagon is heavy enough that it won't like fall off if you were to do that.
Pogo's not attached anymore, correct?
Oh yeah, no, Pogo's super attached. Don't forget, when you look at the straps, it's just like kind of across the shoulder and through the mouth, whereas the actual wagon harness attaches to a makeshift saddle.
Okay, Pogo, stay. Stay. Good Pogo.
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust this creature.
He's a good. Okay, I'll climb down.
Bring it up.
Okay.
Piece of garbage.
All right, as you begin to climb down, good lord. Okay. Audience members, could you roll me not roll me, just give me a number between 1 and 4, and I will, stuff will happen as we go through. Could I get everyone to make me a climb check, please?
Climb.
Oh,
I
good.
could have a potion for this, but I can only make so many a day.
19 for Khalil.
19 for Khalil.
8 for Neville.
8 for Darby as well.
Oh my god.
Highlander Wolf put in a 1.
A 1.
I got a 6. And I'm probably the only one with ranks in climb.
Yeah, I have a negative.
All right. Well,
Next
you
time
want
it's
to know
gonna
the?
take 10.
Do you want to know the? Do you want to know the grand irony? One would have been okay, except 3 of you do not manage to climb. 3 of you, in fact, managed to fall 40 foot onto the garbage.
So isn't it only DC 5 if you have a rope?
It's not a rope. It is a spiked chain.
Oh, the spike chain?
Oh.
I got gauntlets.
It will not help you.
Sure.
All right. So 6, 11, 12 points of damage as you fall and collide with the garbage. Khalil, make me a will
Darby's
save.
gonna drink one of those
Oh,
big
I
healing
fucking
potions.
knew I should have trusted this stupid fucking I rolled a 9.
Whose idea was it for the spike chain?
I didn't realize it had spikes on it. I forgot.
It was the only thing we had.
As Khalil starts to climb down, his pace slows and slows, and eventually he seems to come to a halt. As he does so, the chains spring to life.
Oh.
They wrap around Khalil, covering from head to toe. He scrambles, clawing at them, trying to pull them out of his mouth and from his body, but they seem to be wrapped around him. Suddenly, his hair turns into fire. His mouth spews smoke, and he takes the form of a fire-breathing dwarf. Do we have the fire-breathing dwarf still up there somewhere?
You just lost your character.
Yeah, fell, I guess.
God.
So as I'm laying down in a pile of garbage, I just look up and start thinking everything I touch turns to shit.
Literally. Oh my god. Okay.
Neville's
So,
having the worst 4 days of his life.
all right. So the creature lands on the ground. Now this creature is Khalil. Now Khalil, you have some slight changes to your character, at least for the time being.
Just some slight
The first change is that your character is now lawful evil. You are now obsessed with turning people into chain links. In order to do that, you need to grab hold of them, pin them, and then bludgeon them with your, well, basically your sword, which is now wrapped in chains and become a hammer. You now also have a new power, or several new powers. First of all, you can see in smoke.
Oh, no.
The second power you have... Oops, sorry, come back here. Ah, don't do that. Okay. The second new power you have is the ability to animate your chains. So apart from your attack with your hammer, your chains can attack independently. You'll roll that, and I'll give you all the damages and stuff like that for it. Oh, and one more thing. You can obviously breathe gout of fire and cinder, which cover a 30-foot cone in thick smog that burns and blocks line of sight.
Perfect.
Now, this is very interesting because, Khalil, you are not undead.
No.
No, you're currently being possessed. All right, roll initiative.
Oh my god.
Just
I regret my life
we
choices.
did say that we drank a potion after we fell. Did we sneak that in before this? Or no.
Very well. It will. I'll say that he actually took a few rounds to sort of climb down a little bit.
You said
Okay.
it was 2d8
Plus 5
plus 5.
for the moderate wounds.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Grant.
And, I have what's it, 15.
Khalil. Initiative?
Lucky for you guys, Khalil sucks it. I rolled an 8.
Yes. Oh man. Still better than me.
Darby got a 13.
Okay, Neville.
Got a walloping 7. The quickest to react.
Oh yes, the fastest and most astute of the individuals. All right. So,
Well,
Jesus
that's a doozy.
Christ.
You turned into a chain monster.
all right. Well, Yeah, good luck, guys. Let's see how this works out. Okay. We start, of course, with Grant. Grant, you're up first, as you can see that your former comrade is currently engulfed in chains of iron, spikes, and fire, and smoke.
Do I see, like, how many chains are moving around, or is it just like, oh, there's a lot of chains flying around?
His body almost seems comprised of chains, with this very naked and scared dude in the middle. There's one particular chain that seems quite aggressive.
All right.
They're always.
So, given that they're drinking potions, I would have liked to be able to get my shield out, get that holy water out, and just wait till he gets in range and throw the holy water at him.
Okay, cool. You sort of, as a move action, reach into your jacket, pull out your holy water.
Yeah, I hope he's going to unpossess him.
He is within range.
All right. So this is it's a touch attack, right? With the
Yep. Touch attack, splash weapon.
Range attack.
Yes.
God.
My
I hope,
favorite
I,
kind
I
of
hope he has a
weapons.
AC because it's only a 13.
Okay, what is your touch AC for Khalil?
Ooh, it doesn't go up. My touch AC is only 11.
Nice.
Okay, that will indeed hit. So that is 1d6 points of holy damage. Grant?
4.
4 points of damage. Khalil, what's your total hit points?
Right now it is 16.
16.
My max total is 17, but I took a whack.
Okay. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, carrying on. We then go to Darby.
Darby is going to pull out. Is going to do the same thing, but hopefully better, and pull out holy water and throw it at this thing and say, "Get out of my acquaintance."
Get out of him.
21 to hit.
That will most certainly hit.
Perfect. So it's 2d4.
Yes. No, 2d6. No, 1d6. What am I saying? No, what am I saying? No, it's 1d6 plus your intelligence for the holy water.
6 plus intelligence. Okay. He takes 6 holy damage.
As it burns through him even more. Now, bear in mind, Khalil, you're not taking this damage. I'm recording this separately.
You're good.
Yep.
And then can I also use my action to, like, move farther away?
You can. You make some distance. Make an acrobatics check as you move through the garbage.
Oh, God.
9.
You sort of find it difficult to move, and you can't actually move from your current location.
Okay.
All right, Khalil. Sorry, is it Khalil? Yeah, Khalil.
Khalil.
Yeah. Now you have your hammer. You've got your chains. You've got your breath, and you can obviously reach out to try and grapple people.
So I guess how dim is it in this place?
With you around, not dim at all.
Well, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the fire and smog breath in this enclosed area.
What?
All right, taking a massively deep breath. A gout of smoke and cinder blows and billows forth. Thus far, everyone loses sight of each other. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase. Neville, Darby, and Grant can see each other, but you can no longer see Khalil. Everyone also makes a reflex save. Except for Khalil.
17.
11.
17.
13 for Neville.
Okay.
Neville.
Well, Grant, you are now the proud owner of the blind condition.
You're all fucked.
So you have a grand total of 3 rounds in which this smog will persist. Within it, again, Neville and Darby, you can see 5 foot in front of you. Grant, you can't see anything at all. Khalil, you can see all of them. Everyone then takes 1 point of fire damage.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, I apologize. No, don't take that 1 point of fire damage. Khalil, please roll me 1d6.
Oh, man. No. We can go with what you rolled.
2.
2 points of damage.
One up him, huh?
I take no
That's
damage.
right. Because he is immune to fire. Oh, well, no, resistant to fire.
I wish I was immune to fire.
All right.
Best thing ever.
Neville.
Neville. So I can see Darby next to me, is that correct?
You can, yes, you can. And you can see Grant as well.
So Neville, too busy writing in his notes back in the church, did not grab any holy water. And
Oops.
now yell out to Darby, give me one of those vials of holy water. I'm going to try and snatch it off of his person. So...
Does Darby allow him to do so?
Sure, you can have one of the holy waters.
Perfect.
Okay.
And so I grab...
All right. In which case, I will say as a move action, you can reach over and take one of the vials. And as a standard action, you can
Hand
throw
to
it.
him with my tail.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I'm actually going to kind of hunker down, wipe the soot out of my eyes, and start trying to knead this holy water into one of my tar bombs. Trying to just on the fly do some crazy
You were
alchemy
gonna
stuff.
ruin it.
No.
All
We'll
right.
make it better. I'm
All right,
mad
roll a-
science mode.
Roll a craft alchemy check.
All right. That's a 21.
With a 21, you successfully managed to combine the tar and the holy water. What you will now be able to do is use the tar to inflict what I'd like to call holy fire. Holy fire will basically be doing the same thing as fire damage, except it will be treated as holy damage instead of fire damage and burn for exactly the same kind of thing.
Yes. My
Holy
invention
tar.
works. So that'll be
Holy
my
tar.
action, is kneading it all together. I'm hunkered down in the junk.
Yep.
Holy tar, exactly.
Okay. Next up, we have the Grant. I kept looking for a creature, and I was like, where the hell is my turn? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
All right. Do something crazy or do something not as crazy? These are the questions.
Well, I mean, this is technically a one-shot for you, so go nuts. I mean, Darby and Khalil won't mind if they all die, yeah?
All right,
I-
so
Knew I was gonna die as soon as we got here.
Oh, that's
So what I like to
cheerful,
do-
Darby.
intimidate Khalil to attack me with the chain, ready in action. That when I hear the chain like come or hit my sword like holding it in front of me, to try to wrap it and pin the chain in front of me.
Oh, okay. All right, roll an intimidation check and say something as to what you would do to try and provoke him.
It's like, sir. Trying to think account of everything we've seen. It's like, listen to here, your chain choking SOB. You couldn't hit me with a broadside of that chain.
All right.
Oh my God! Why now? It's an 8 on a nat 1. +7 to this. This should be awesome.
All
Your
right.
voice cracks and get hiccups in the middle.
What he intends to say is something really badass. But what he actually says, he goes.
The visor's still down.
He basically goes. Hey, chain face. Fuck you. Right. And doesn't really fall through that well. So yeah, okay. Well, Grant made his effort. It was a valiant effort. The other problem is that he can't see where to talk, so he's probably also facing the wrong way. And that brings us to Darby.
Everything okay? What's wrong? Why are you crying?
Darby is going to take that another vial of holy water. And I'm going to walk forward out into the smoke with my hand out. And basically, like the last time we fought this thing, just tried to feel my way until I feel the chains, and I'll just fling it at him.
Sneezing powder.
Except I know this is more effective than sneezing powder.
All right, make a perception check as you start to mindlessly walk forward. Oh wait, sorry. First, an acrobatics check.
Ah, goddamn.
Oh no.
I forgot about the trash. 14.
Yep, you're fine. You proceed forward. You make a perception check as you sort of... Marco.
So I need to make a perception check now?
Yep.
I'll try a different dice. Oh, I shouldn't have.
Oh no.
10.
10. You do not find anything.
At least
Khalil.
I don't throw it.
Yes.
Khalil, you have an attack of opportunity as Darby seems to walk right past you.
Stumbled.
Okay. Then I'll fucking...
With your chain, that is.
With my chain, yeah. Then I'll do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
All right,
do-
make your... Do you want to grapple him or do you want to hit him?
Grapple. From my understanding, that's what I need to do to turn him into a chain link anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, roll your CMB and get a plus... No, not a plus for anything. That's fine. Plus 4.
Plus 4, so roll and then add plus 4?
Yep. And plus your CMB.
Plus 4 is 22, plus my CMB is 4, so that's 26.
How's your CMD looking, Darby?
10 less than that.
Okay, so chains suddenly wrap around Darby's legs, dragging him over to where he can now potentially see Khalil.
Can I throw
Sadly, you cannot. However, you can take 1d6 points of fire and 1d6 points of piercing damage. Khalil, if you could roll that.
1d6 fire, 1d6 piercing.
Yep, you'll only do fire damage if you roll a 6.
I roll them both at the same time. We'll do 1 fire, 5 piercing.
All right. We then go to Khalil. It is now your turn. You have grappled a Darby.
Get off of me!
So, this creature has no understanding of my, like, the character underneath it, right? Like, he only uses his physical body, right? He doesn't use any of
That's
my
correct.
powers, correct.
That's correct. If you want to say something as Khalil, make a will save.
Ooh, say something as Khalil. I can talk through this person?
Pretty much, yeah. You could try to exert some minor sense of control with a will save.
Yes, I would like to... Well, I would like to start... So he's going to swing his hammer at him. I would like to try to stop that mid-swing and be like, no!
Oh, actually, no. Sorry, you need to pin them before you hammer them. So they need to...
Not just grapple.
Yeah. But you could, in the same vein, stop him from... Make him drop the grapple.
Yeah, well, we'll do that.
Okay, make your will save.
Oh my god. I have a really high will save, but I rolled an 8 in total.
Oh no.
You do not stop it. So he will... so yeah, probably if you're going to go for the soul link thing, you then go for a pin, which is the same CMB plus D20 plus 4.
Okay, that was the 12.
Nope. I have a 16.
16. Oof. Well, he does not pin, And he drops the grapple as he wriggles out and gets free.
Nice.
Now can
Very
we
nice.
throw it at him?
No.
Just kidding.
Neville.
Neville's gonna glance up from his frenzied work, looking into the smog.
Sorry, my apologies. I did forget once again, and this is on me. Khalil, yes.
Roll.
Could you roll a d6, please?
1.
Everyone takes 1 point of fire damage, except for Darby, who, you know.
The trash
So
isn't
it's
like
coming.
combusting or anything like that,
Nah,
right?
Nah,
Okay.
it's not flammable trash. All right, Neville, I apologize. Continue.
So yeah, Neville will look up from his frenzied work, glancing through the smoke, seeing that Darby had wandered off while Neville was focused on this contraption he was creating, and he's going to make a perception check to try and intuit the direction that the possessed Khalil is in.
Excellent.
So for perception, I rolled a 24.
Ooh, very nice. You very easily find your way around to the giant creature. Now, Khalil does get an attack of opportunity. No, doesn't get no, does. You do get an attack of opportunity here with the chains, but Neville, you are not denied your attack because you found him. So
Okay.
you can attack him afterwards.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right. So you want to attack with? You can attack with the soul
That
chains.
chain beast.
What do I add to this?
CMB +4.
CB plus 4. It's right there. 14.
Guys.
Guys are just here in time to witness the ultimate betrayal of Khalil transformed.
14.
It's not
14. Okay, with a 14, does that hit Neville's CMD?
My CMD sorry. Sorry, 1 second. CMB.
I see CMB, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just seeing CMB. Sorry, it's a character sheet I'm not very familiar with.
That's okay. CMD should be up in with the defenses.
I would think so. Are you seeing it?
Mm-mm.
No, I just have AC, touch, flat-footed. So CMB would just be 10 plus my...
10 plus your base attack bonus plus your strength and your dex combined.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I have... Oh, man. So that cancels itself out. So I have 12.
Oh.
So, shoot.
All right, that's okay
It's
because
an
even though you are grappled here, because again you managed to locate him, you can still attack him. In fact, because he's physically making contact with you, aside from you taking 1d6 fire, 1d6 piercing, which Khalil will roll for me now, you can make your attack without concealment because you can actually physically just go thwap.
Nice.
2 piercing, 5 damage.
Okay, so it's
7.
7 total.
Mhm.
Sweet. All right, so as he rips me over towards him, I'm going to have my Tarzan. It's like little sling. I'm gonna whip it around my head until it gets fast enough that all the embers in the air actually light it on fire, and this like kind of blue holy fire starts emanating from it. I look straight in the camera and go, "Tartar for now." Slap him with it.
Neville got smooth all of a sudden.
Nah, it's
All right,
totally out of character.
I did
He
have-
starts
Hold on,
crying
whoa, whoa.
immediately after.
let's
I did
see what
ask
happens
him
when he
to
makes
roll
the
some.
attack.
Yeah. So.
Oh!
I probably smashed it in my own face. I rolled a natural 1.
I knew it. All right. So as Neville sort of fantasizes for a brief moment about how this is going to look, he raises his hands. He starts to swing the glob around his head, and he yells out, "I like tartar sauce!" And as he swings it forward, we got a 1 on that D4 before, didn't we?
Oh,
From one of the players.
We got 1 on a
I know,
D4
right?
before.
Oh, yes.
We got the 1 on the D4. Excellent, good. I'm going to utilize that. The glob flies into the air and strikes Darby in the back.
No, I'm
I'm
sorry.
always the one that gets hit by random projectiles.
All right.
It's only blue holy flame on you, no problem.
Sorry.
Very true. All right. So, could you roll me a d6, please?
Neville?
Neville, yes.
That's a 3.
All right, Darby, you take 1 point of holy damage.
Okay.
Well, it's holy fire damage.
Holy fire. Am I resistant to holy fire?
Any chance?
Sadly, no.
Steve,
You do have
maybe.
You do, however, halve that damage though.
Okay, cool.
So it's not so bad. It's just it's not good. So Neville, you hear this, sort of a yelp come from beside you as you fling this thing. As we go back to Grant.
Oh man.
He's pondering. He's thinking very carefully, realizing softly and slowly that his microphone is no longer active for whatever reason.
Watch where you're throwing things.
It's like, that was Grant like waiting. Okay, nothing's happening. So now I will try to search out in my blindness, and then if I feel chain against Gauntlet, stab.
Okay, roll a perception check. For the love of Christ, don't roll a 1.
Well, the name of Phrasma. It is a 18.
Okay,
Nice.
good. You feel around and you most certainly find the chains that surround Khalil at the moment. If you rolled a 1, I was going to say that you find chains, but it's Neville. Stab! No, not going to happen. So, yep, you do find it. Make your attack with a 50% mischance, please.
All right. Well, let's see what the roll is first. All right. It is a 13. Do I need to roll concealment?
Yes, I'll roll concealment.
Okay.
All right, 60%, and as always, my rolls higher favors the player. So yes, you managed to strike.
He rolled a
The,
13 for hit?
He
15.
did.
Oh, 15.
15.
Okay.
15 will hit. Yep. All right. Damage.
8.
8 points of damage. Okay. The chains seem to be staggering and swaying. Khalil, you can make me a will save if you like.
Yes, sir. I think he has to.
Fight it, Khalil.
Okay, now that is a 23.
With a 23, you manage to wrest control. You reach out and you grab at the chains, trying to pull them apart from you. Make a strength check.
Ooh.
Oh man.
An 8.
An 8.
Yes.
As you pull them, you have time for literally one phrase before getting consumed again.
I see him.
Whoa, Khalil.
Save Raylan and Geralt if I die.
Ah, that's very sappy. And yep, okay, yeah. And you, rah!
Who?
What's
Okay.
happening?
Darby.
I'm gonna throw the holy water in its face.
Okay, you get the holy water and basically throw it in his face.
Stupid dwarf face.
Yep, kind of like very reminiscent of the Andy Kaufman thing.
18.
18. 18 will hit. Roll your damage, please. 1d6 plus your intelligence.
8 damage.
Damn.
8 damage. Okay. The chains go limp and fall to the ground, motionless.
Chains.
You also notice that the chains seem to be lacking a certain magical energy that they once had. In addition, the flames on your back gets covered in the fluid as well as it splashes around, and you are now doused, as it were. So the flames on your back no longer burn you. And with that, the smog clears, revealing Khalil lying on the ground surrounded by these chains.
Khalil, are you okay?
Am I still blind?
No, you are no longer blind.
I'm fine. Is everyone else all right?
I grab Khalil, pull him out of the chains, and non-lethally slap him with my in the face.
Non-lethally slap.
So
An iron glove strikes you in the cheek.
Another.
And they throw it back down the
chain.
they throw it back down the chains. Dumbass.
Careful about what equipment you take from them and keep around.
Oh!
Now
All
I
right,
know
guys.
that they can't sneeze.
All right, guys in the chat. I feel like Khalil needs some love. Everyone, just put a hug emoji or just some words of encouragement. Help out poor Khalil. I mean, how was he supposed to do? Poor guy. I feel bad.
Those chains, they're like. Can I do a check on them? See, they have no magical presence anymore.
They have no more magical presence. They are now officially donezo. For those of you at home playing, this creature was actually known as a forge-spurned dwarf. And the thing is that they are actually cursed by having these souls of their victims embedded in the chains around them. Now, the catch here is that in order to properly kill them, you actually need to, let's see, the chains themselves need to be destroyed or consecrated in some way, shape, or form. The holy fire that was placed here and the sort of holy water that it was doused in served to reach that effect, and it seems to be done. It seems to be now just regular spike chains.
Okay.
A fascinating discovery.
Everything here just needs to be doused in holy water.
An alchemy of chain and man.
You're far more excited than you should be.
Sorry.
Alchemy.
But
You got possessed.
the possession could be its own.
Is there any potions left?
Further
I believe there should be. Are there any potions left from the cache?
I have one on me.
What now?
The healing potions? Is that what we're asking about? I have one on me, so I could stand to drink it. But if you need it more.
I feel bad trying to drink all this stuff when I'm one shot.
Yeah.
No, well, technically Neville is as well.
Yeah.
Maybe two-shotting.
Universe, though.
Here, take it. It's your. I can brew one of. I have a few of my own actually. I uncork.
Well, as soon as he says take it, I'll take it.
Well, where's the stash that we're looking for here, guys?
Yeah, we should probably look for it. Does the note specify?
It does not, but you may roll me a perception check to try and look for one.
Nope.
11.
Oh, that's the stuff.
Neville got a 12.
I got a 7. I was a little bit high off my potion still.
Darby saves the day probably with a 19.
Nice.
With a 19, you find that there is a small cache hidden among the refuse. You have to push and pull some stuff out of the way, but when you do so, you find a trove, basically an armory. Now, for you guys, you are basically, look, this is an emergency cache, so you don't really want to take everything and just sell it. So you decide among yourselves that what you are going to do is you're going to claim one object each. So pick one item on your inventory list, either armor or weapon. It is now a magical silver item of that choice.
Well, I'm definitely going to choose armor.
We say magical. Magical mean like +1.
+1, yeah.
We each get to choose one, or there's one from the
Yep,
cache that
yep.
we- Yeah.
Each one of you get to choose one.
Cool.
It is very extensive, so there are swords, there are crossbows, there are longbows, there's light armor, there's medium armor. And for those of you who want to know how you get silver armor, it's not so much that it is quote-unquote silver armor, it's that there is silver pieces in the armor. So should you at some form or another require silver, you could easily harvest some small amount from the armor that you've got.
Sweet.
Like, for example, if you're wearing full plate, it's not full plate with a little bit of silver. It's like full plate, and you can like take off a pauldron, melt some of it down, and gain like a cup of silver out of it.
I've got silver studded leather armor.
There you go. So the little studs would be silver.
That's cool.
So I'll find a.
What is the bonus for the weapons? It's just
Plus one to your attack and damage.
Neville
You also
finds-
grab something. Sorry?
Oh, Neville finds a very odd item, just a large tricorn hat with silver studding around it. Do you think this will make me look dashing for when I reacquaint with Clara, my lost love?
You and Clara?
Do you know her? Well, I don't know. I don't know if she even knows me.
She probably doesn't.
I just want her to.
Wow! That was brutal! Oh, I'm so in love with this woman. Nah, don't worry, mate. She probably doesn't even know you exist.
I kid. Okay.
Are you still
like-
possessed by the demons, sir?
No.
Oh, shit. That came from
That
the
must have been
evil
Sally's.
Because our friends are probably.
Well, I would have mentioned that I'm pretty sure that hat used to belong to someone named Sally.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
Her name was
Sally.
Mustang Sally.
perfect.
And I now have a +1 silver longsword.
Excellent. All right. Gathering your gear, you manage to, well, the chain is still actually hanging there. After testing it a few times here and there, you realize that you have two choices. You can either A, climb back up onto the street in order to try and get to basically where you left the survivors, or if you recall, the tunnels beneath the sewers will actually lead you beneath the streets towards the manor.
We're,
It might be safer.
Let's go.
Involves
Let's go.
the faster the better. Let's get to them.
fewer
We'll-
chains.
They're alive.
We'll go through the sewers.
We're gonna check on Helsing and the rest. Clara as well.
Oh, Clara? Yes, let's go there. I mean, I don't care about her,
Excellent.
but we should go that way.
All right. You head down the large pile of garbage, and I'm not going to do the big ski adventure that I was originally going to do. I feel like that's just unnecessary at this point. Or at least it's just asking for trouble. But basically, you make your way down the large pile of garbage and eventually find yourself at the entrance to this particular area. Opening the door, you find a corridor that leads you to your left and right. Thankfully, Darby and Khalil have actually been down here before and know the direction. Veering right, they proceed onwards. The stench that lingers here is, sort of tickles the nose. But nonetheless, there is not only the smell of rot and decay, but also the smell of blood. As you approach what appears to be a large circular catchment area, you notice that there are three entrances, three large tunnels, all of which are open. And there is a smaller hatch where the survivors once were, also opened.
We're too late.
I run in there and the check right away.
Where's Clara?
As you walk over, you pass by the entrance, and you can see blood splattered through the entranceway. You can't see any people, you can't see any bodies. There is only wet blood that seems to be around.
Still wet.
I still go
fresh.
inside. Into
You
the-
go inside again. Again, there is no one to be found.
Is there anything outside of these places, like blood or whatever?
Not outside. No, there doesn't seem to be a. You can kind of make. Yeah, well, actually, make a survival check.
It's a 10.
Anyone else?
I swear I know what I'm doing.
Can Neville make a perception check to try and intuit which direction the blood might have gone?
That's the survival check.
Oh, okay, so survival. Cool.
Does it look like there was another explosion down here, like there was before?
No.
Neville, his senses heightened at the thought of maybe reacquainting with Clara, and this opportunity being torn from him, rolls a 25 on his survival check.
Excellent. With a 25, and this is very appropriate, Neville, you smell a very familiar perfume amongst all the horrendous smells. It is the smell of your beloved. It is actually.
Doesn't know you.
She might know me.
quote unquote perfume being, of course, grease, and like that. For those of you in Australia, WD-40, right? Right, it's the smell of like grease and WD-40.
Is that a common
Right.
Australian perfume? You just got like.
WD.
Yeah, WD-40. Yeah, no, you think I'm lying. You think I'm lying. There's literally cologne WD-40. It's freaking awesome. Anyway. Yeah.
Australia, it's so
Anyway.
expensive to ship shit down there, and that's what you guys get. So
Yes,
funny.
yes.
No, that's made locally.
It's
Oh,
the
okay.
important things.
It's the
All right.
stuff that can't
So,
leave the continent.
yeah. All right. So, so you smell this, and it is coming from the northernmost corridor.
Northernmost
Ooh,
corridor.
no, to the north.
Well,
That's where they went. I know that Scent Anywhere. I've tried to recreate it many a time in my lab.
Swayla's very overwhelmed and is trying to get as fast as possible to any like solution or like cause.
I'm gonna lean over to Darby, looking at Neville, like he doesn't get out much, does he?
I mean, I just met him today, but I don't think so. And by the way, you come
When
over
you-
to me and ask, I'm like an evil-looking like gremlin monster.
Look at them. They're like
Southern-
twins.
This normal human
All right.
guy over here with a
It's like
crush.
Fresman
Such
does
a
not
loser.
judge upon looks, only
Yeah,
by
see, I-
deeds and killing of undead.
I feel like this game is setting up some really negative alchemist stereotypes. Uh,
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
sorry to all the
so-
alchemists watching in the audience.
Disclaimer.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
yeah, disclaimer. You know, these views are not shared. Blah 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 blah. All right.
I appreciate
So-
that. I played at Alchemist.
Nice.
So yeah. So anyway, the group gathers up together and they charge down the corridor, heading towards where they believe they'd find the survivors. They twist and turn through varying tunnels, but Neville's sense of smell and his longing to be reunited with his love have driven him forward. Eventually, you come to what appears to be a crossroad, and there is an individual dressed in crow attire that seems to be holding on to a unconscious form. It appears to be that. It appears to be that of a woman.
The conscious form or the crow?
The
Or the unconscious
unconscious,
woman.
the
Why
unconscious
not
form.
both?
Yeah.
Hashtag gross.
Well, because
Wait,
as
shot
the
potion.
because well, you quickly as the figure turns to face you, Grant, you see in horror half of this skeleton's face appears to match that of your respected captain.
Oh, you're a creep. Yeah.
It's like
man.
I prepared to fight and go. I will send you to Fresma's court.
He raises his hands and attempts to speak, but with no tongue, words do not seem to collect. Roll initiative.
Gross.
Ugh.
You're gross.
I'm gonna kill him so hard.
Ooh.
11.
5.
I should have gone P2.
Dobby got to
Tell you, man.
16.
Do it once, never do it again. Neville got
Neville?
an 18. So ready to meet.
Khalil got an 11, because Khalil is always very
Distracted.
distracted, I guess.
Neville's not a creep. He's just passionate. Okay, Blue Dragon Eye.
All right, Neville, what is your initiative bonus? Like, what do you actually add to your initiative?
Just my dex of +1.
+1? Okay. The creature... Oh, no, sorry. Neville, you get to go first.
That's right, I do. So this creature's obviously disgusting. I'm gonna charge towards it. As I get a regular bomb out, and I've discovered how to make precise bombs, so I'm gonna kind of key it up. I imagine I turn it around so that there's only certain holes on each side, so I know that when I throw it, it hopefully won't get the lady in his arms. It'll just get the guy, the evil, evil crow. And I'm gonna launch this bomb towards him as I move at him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The undead is evil, not the crow.
Yeah, sorry. Present. Sorry, crows in the room. Neville launches this bomb with a 14.
Versus touch.
All right.
Oh yeah, versus touch. That's cool.
All right. With a 14, it... Oh, no, it misses. Roll a d8 for me, please.
All right. 7.
7. Okay. Give me a moment.
I don't know what that means.
All right. It seems as though the wind carries the blast. So instead of hitting, it actually does hit. It lands straight on the back of the creature and engulfs it in flame. Roll your damage.
Nice.
Cool. Excellent. That is a 14.
Nice.
Yeah.
14.
Burn, you foul
So we saw
creature.
a nice little impressive curveball.
Yeah.
You basically did. All right. Or at least that's what you think happened.
Okay.
You're fairly sure you were off target, but then you actually hit it, and it was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Okay,
Devil's
next
been
up.
redeemed a little in grand size.
Okay,
At least the half-elves,
Darby.
I assume.
Darby is going to pull out his crossbow, take one of his special little boats that has like a little slot for vials, and he's going to slide in his last vial of holy water into the dart and shoot it at the zombie right in the face. Or the skeleton. It's not a zombie.
I choose you, bloody skeleton.
Pokeball Go. Yup. Curveball.
17.
17. All right, you managed to hit the creature once more.
So
Fire flares.
Well, it's holy water.
Oh, sorry, holy water. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Splash.
Splash. It burns, just it's not on fire, I guess.
To see through fire.
Nice. 12 plus 16 damage.
16 damage.
And that's my last holy water.
Oof. A hefty, hefty blow. All right.
Drop her.
Khalil,
Yes.
it is your turn.
I sprint up to it. I use another one of my arcane pulls to cast imbue my weapon with fire and swing at it.
Okay, take your attack.
Not you. Where's the other one? Oh, I fucked up. I leave my paper there. Fuck. Well, that's an 8.
All right. As you swing through, your blade carries, and again, it seems as though through some strange twist of fate, your attack lands.
Okay. Well,
Roll your damage.
Interesting.
5 fire damage
1 moment.
and 1 slashing.
Neville.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Give me your total damage first, real quick.
Uh-oh.
Just
My total is 6.
6 damage. Okay. Neville.
Never go.
No. Neville, you notice that as Khalil swings his blade, had he continued his attack, he would have hit the unconscious woman. It appears that the skeleton moved so that he would be in the way and block the attack from dealing any kind of injury to the person it was holding. All right, which brings us to Grant.
All right. I didn't notice anything.
Nope.
Is there enough distance and clear path for me to do a charge?
Oh, there's plenty of room for you to do a charge. You can do the most epic charge.
So I will charge with my silver longsword.
Mm-hmm.
Third for a 19.
That will most certainly hit. Your damage, please, good sir.
Sir, 9.
9? All right. As you land the critical blow, the creature falls backwards onto the ground. It's basically snapped at the spine, leaving only its torso and its arms lifting in the air, as it seems to roll itself so that the woman, unconscious as she is, doesn't hit the ground as, he sort of hits as he does. The legs fall down and they stop moving. as it slowly as you can basically see the flickering lights in its eyes, sort of start to fade. You see its claw start writing something in the actual, what do you call it? In the, on the cobblestone.
Do we all see it right then?
Yes.
I guess we go read what it says.
I go check on the lady. Is it Clara?
It is most certainly Clara, but before that...
She stayed dead.
Gran, who on earth could he be talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. Can you see
I
that all right?
don't know any Grant.
Save them, Grant.
Trying to invoke his grandmother.
Oh, it probably means Grant.
Oh, yeah, that's
Probably.
But trails off as it sort of loses life. And this goes out to a big thank you to who put...
Oh,
my
man,
God.
that's a callback.
We killed an ally.
That's awesome.
You very much did. You killed, you get the impression, or at least Neville has the impression, that that the way it was holding the unconscious person wasn't like someone trying to capture someone, but someone trying to protect someone.
She's also undead.
So when you made your first attack, and you missed, it would have actually hit her, and he'd actually thrown himself over it to protect her.
White knighting. I quietly thank his corpse and apologize, but I don't really let on to the rest of the party what I've seen.
Oh, Neville takes that blow. Neville takes that one on the chin. All right.
It's like, I will close my eyes for a moment, and over the body would be like, may your soul find its way to Pharasma's court.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right, everyone.
And crush the skull.
Oh, okay.
Just to make sure.
All right, crush. You sort of step on the skull breaks apart.
Mazel tov.
Okay. You find, of course, Clara, who is unconscious. She seems as though she's been injured, but like non-lethally. Like she doesn't seem to have any visible wounds, almost like she was knocked out.
I'm gonna try to wake her.
Clara, no.
Clara.
No, hold on. I check her vitals and try and shoo you away. I'll take care of her. I'll make sure she's all right. How does this hat look?
You look fine. We need to
Let's
wake
put our
her.
new that did Sally.
Grateful to
I
see it
rustle
when
around.
she wakes up.
I rustle around in my pouches and find a couple like little like waking incenses or something. Snap them together and hold them under her nose.
Yep, you managed to put together a small dose of smelling salts. You crack them open. She wakes up.
It's all right.
Clara, I was really worried about you.
Neville, it's you. And
me.
she sort of reaches up and sort of gently. She doesn't touch you, but she sort of gets close enough that you can feel the warmth of her hand next to your face, and she says, she sort of has this soft smile on her face, and she says, "I was so worried."
What happened?
What happened? Yeah.
She said, she says, soon after you left, there was a sound, a large crash. Rosenvale felt that it wasn't safe there anymore, so we started moving people.
That was us.
But
It was Pogo crashing through the walls.
Sense
we
motive.
you can sense motive on the woman if you like.
18.
She seems to be telling the truth. She says that they continued down the tunnels for a fair distance when they started hearing the sounds of flooding. Someone was trying to flood the chambers out. Thankfully, the engineer managed to find us a safe nook, but it basically trapped us. We heard sounds of the horde following. They were banging on the door and they wanted to get in. A few made a run for it, trying to get back to the other safe point, where they were with the grate, but they never came back. We began to escape and through the pipelines. There was barely enough room to crawl through. But I was slower than the others. Everyone was concerned. Something grabbed me, and the next thing I knew, I was pulled out to the back. I saw flashing metal and sprayed with this, and she sort of like wipes off some of the blood that seems to be congealed blood from like a bloody skeleton. But there was this man, a crow. He fended off. Yes, I think that was him. I didn't realize he was one of them as well, but it almost looked as though he was fighting them.
He was fighting his own?
Yes, it seemed that way.
Well, all that matters
the
is
others,
that you're safe now.
Yes, but the others, they're not far. Please, you have to help them.
Fighter slowly comes down.
Do you remember the lady and the short man?
Crying inside the helmet again.
Yep. As you try to cry, you find that tears don't come. You have a mission. You have a task in front of you, and it needs to be done. What was that, sorry, Khalil?
Do you remember the lady we came with in the short halfling as well?
Yes.
The angry little man.
Have you seen them?
Yes. They were captured. One of the creatures, one dressed in robes, he was there, and he was talking to the others about something.
Where did you see them?
There was a lot. Yeah, she points down the corridor. She says, "Please, hurry."
We should go that way then.
Now on this day, I am a hero. I will go find them.
Clara, where do you feel safest? Do you want to come with us?
Probably not.
I think I'll stay here. If things get too dangerous, I'll lock myself in the cupboard here.
Yes.
Promise to be safe.
That's a good idea.
If you have to move, go towards the lighthouse. The crows have it defended.
I know a back way to the lighthouse. I can get there myself from here without putting myself in too much danger.
Just be careful.
I can also tell them that you're coming. I can tell them that you're okay.
Yes.
Does anyone want to tell her about the food cache that's in the library? Oh, sorry, in the lighthouse?
I will hand her the letter and be like, give the other crows this.
Yes. Yeah, I will do that. And she sort of turns to leave and she says, "Good fortune." And she looks at Neville and she says, "Neville,
Yes.
come back safely."
You too, sweet Clara.
And she sort of, off she goes.
I think she really liked the hat.
Yes. Good.
It certainly looks better on you than it did Sally.
Thank you. Oh, we have a mission now. We have people to save. Just people to save.
Okay. You continue down the corridor. As you do so, you can basically see ahead what appears to be a line of skeletons that seem to be standing over two knelt over individuals who seem to be in a trance of some kind. Standing before them is a familiar, robed, undead-looking creature. This, of course, is Father Obadiah. He says, "That fool, Leonard Carpenter, thinks that he can control the Horde, but with any luck, I will turn them to my own devices. I have no intention of serving in some other man's war. I will make my own." If we can get a picture of the creature up ahead. The priesty, skeleton-y Doomawaki. Thank you, Eddie. So as you see this person muttering to himself, you can see that he's actually standing over the tranced forms of Raylan and Geralt.
Bastard.
As he turns and sees you when you approach. By the way, your shock shield is still active.
Awesome.
As he turns, he says, "You again? Well, with your friends here, I have no need of you, but more bodies will make a difference." He then stops, and he goes, "But then again, it seems that one of you has already become one of us." He stretches his hand forward. All of a sudden, blood starts pouring out of Grant's helmet from his
The
neck,
failed fort save.
from his neck, from his eyes, from his arms, as his skin flops to the floor.
Can I try to make a will save and kill myself before this happens?
Negative! Roll initiative! This is the final battle!
Man.
Oh my
Dude.
lord.
Betrayed at every turn.
Seriously.
Sorry, Captain. And 15.
15? Yep.
Khalil rolled a 6.
Yep.
Neville got a 19.
Darby
Ooh, very
got a
nice.
17.
All right.
Did I turn into a bloody skeleton?
You did most certainly turn to a bloody skeleton. Your following powers include gaining a +5 fast healing. You also have claw attacks, not that that really matters too much. And that is all. Well, I mean, there's other stuff, but nothing that's going to be relevant for the fight. So, Neville, you're up first.
All right. I'm gonna make a Neville will make a perception check to see if there's still any holy water on Grant's body.
Well, Grant threw.
Grant's
I believe
still
Grant
alive.
threw his one.
I'll have the 1.
Yeah.
Oh, you just had the one? Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you might have had more.
Also, just to clarify, he is not dead. He is standing,
he's
and he
undead.
seems to be looking at you quite aggressively with his sword in hand.
Yeah. Well, Neville, his newfound courage sparked within him, is going to light one of these tar bombs on fire. Thank Grant for his service, and lob it towards him. Ooh, that's a 7.
All right, as he throws the bomb, Grant raises his blade and basically using the edge of it manages to deflect the bomb without breaking it, and it lands behind him.
Just a little.
Do you want to say something cool, Grant?
It's like, no, this is silence.
An
It's impending doom.
A steely, uneasy silence falls over the once ally. As we then go to Darby.
How far away am I from all the skeletons and the robe figure?
About 20 foot.
20 foot. All right. I'm going.
Whereas you are
to-
5 foot away from Grant.
Okay. So 5 foot step is a thing, right?
That is correct.
I'll 5 foot step away from Grant,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to. That doesn't count as a move action, right?
No, that's a free action.
Free action. Okay. So, I'm going to take my bomb, throw it right at the guy, and it's a smoke bomb, and I'm gonna precision strike so I don't hit Raylan and Geralt.
Okay. Make your attack as your orb floats through the air.
Nice. So I rolled a 19, so 26.
26 will hit as the smoke engulfs the skeletons. They don't cough, but you see their piercing eyes penetrating the smoke around your allies.
How close were they standing to the big skeleton?
Not close at all.
Not close at all. Okay.
So with your radius, you'll hit 2 of them.
2 of them. Okay. So they take 8, and they can make a DC 15 reflex save to half that.
Okay.
But the guy hit
They-
directly.
They do hit it. So that's 4 for one guy, and the other guy.
The guy hit directly takes 13.
13. Okay. All right. He is not looking happy, but He is still standing upright. As we then move from Darby's impressive smoke bomb straight to Grant.
All right, who's the closest?
Technically, Neville and Khalil are both 5 foot away from me.
All right, I will take a 5-foot step, up, and I will, because I think it would hurt more, attack Neville.
Definitely hurt me more.
Especially after I said he looks better in that hat.
Your words
Make your
cut
attack.
deeper than any sword ever could.
23.
23?
Never
Does that hit?
mind.
Definitely hits.
The sword actually cuts pretty deep. Never mind.
Oh shit, I was mistaken.
For 9 damage.
9 damage. All right. I am. I'm on death's door. I have 1 HP.
Whoa. Grant deals a near fatal blow with his longsword. The Hakuva seems to be pleased at this. Seeing the
Dobby
smoke.
didn't notice that he turned into a zombie, so he just looks like, oh god, and now he's.
Surprising.
Didn't notice all the blood gushing from him.
Yeah, no, he was distracted.
The creature, what does he do? Ooh, everyone please make me a will save, please.
Is that including me?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Do you have any damage, by the way?
I had 1 point of damage.
Excellent.
From
That
earlier.
damage... Yeah, okay, cool.
Neville rolled a 9.
Dobby rolled a 19.
19 for Khalil as well.
Okay, Darby and Khalil, you take 1 point of damage each. Neville, you take 2 points of damage.
I am below
As
0.
as the creature steps forward, it holds up what looks to be a melted symbol of pharasma, and it is melted in such a way that it appears as a skull with the dripping metal sort of emblazoned on it. And he basically cries out to his new goddess, the pallid princess Urgathoa, who saw fit to allow me to keep my life beyond death. Wrench it from these so I may show them your glory. And you feel your soul sort of slightly pulling out of your body as you take negative energy damage.
So did he step out of the smoke? Just to be...
He did.
Okay.
It is an area of effect ability called Channel Negative Energy. It's very similar to that what Raylan uses, but on the bad side of things.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we have Khalil.
Okay, well, I'm going to spend an arcane pull point and imbue lightning into my sword, and I'm going to jab it into my new turned ally.
All right. Make your attack.
Ooh, 8.
Oh my lord. Have you hit yet?
Does 8 hit you, Grant?
I'm pretty sure the weapon is not even near me.
Okay. No, Khalil. Khalil is near you.
No, I mean his weapon. I'm like, did he do
Right,
something?
Yeah. Yeah, no. This is you realize that these are the combat maneuvers of a whelp. You have had squires who can handle a sword better. You almost, he swings at you and it's almost at a point where you catch the sword with the palm of your hand and are almost ready to, you know what? Let's do that. Make a combat maneuver check, Grant.
It's electrical.
Boogie woogie.
It's fine.
Woogie woo.
Grant?
Oh, you want me to
Combat
make a? Okay.
Yes. CMB.
This is him doing it, not me. But that's a 22.
versus your CMD, Khalil.
14.
Looks like you lost your
All right.
save.
All right. So, Grant, you take 2 points of electric damage. And the blade
Worth it.
very much gets pulled out of your hand and thrown to the floor behind him.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have any spells?
Oh yeah, of course I do.
Okay. Moving on. Neville, could you make me a will save, please?
Sure. Can I, even though I'm at -1 HP?
Yeah, this is a to not
Okay.
die.
All right. So that is a 16.
With a 16, your eyes fill with darkness, and you hear a voice. There's like this pulsating light calling your name. Neville. Neville.
No, not now.
Wake up.
Sleeping. No.
Wake
Claire,
up,
not
Neville.
now.
Wake up. And it yells at you. Wake up!
Ah!
You are brought back on 1 hit point.
I'm gonna have this special little locket that I have tucked away. I'm gonna go and rip it open and chug this.
No, wait. This doesn't have like fingernails and hair and shit in it, right? Like just
No shit. The other stuff on no comment. No, but it's just a little container that I keep one of my most prized possessions, this mutagen that I've concocted. I never thought I'd need to use it, but now is the time. I just slam this nasty like Icarus substance, and as soon as it enters my mouth, my arms start stretching out and become a little bit more muscled. I kind of rise up, almost gaining like a werewolf-like posture. I still look like a man, but my features are a little bit more animalistic. And you can tell that I look more dexterous.
That guy looks more dexterous.
Yeah.
It looks
Very nice.
familiar to whatever I do that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you do this too?
we're like twins.
And is that a move
Okay.
to drink that, or is that an action?
It's a standard to drink that.
Okay.
But you can move to just sort of jump out the way
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna-
avoid getting hit again.
I'm gonna take a 5-foot step back and try and like warily watch this turned
Yeah.
ally.
Now bear in mind that with all your bonuses said and done, you get a +6 to your AC. Plus 4 from your natural armor, +2 from your dex bonus. All right.
Should've done this
After
forever
Neville
ago.
After Neville undergoes his transformation, we then go to Darby.
Well, I already did that earlier today, so I can't do that again. So how about instead I just throw an alchemist fire at the guy? Well, I guess I'm not moving, so I'll load the alchemist fire vial into my crossbow bolt and shoot at the one that channeled negative energy.
Okay. Are you sure? Darby gets the impression that Grant is a very clear and present danger. A very strong impression.
Okay,
Your ally's on 1 hit point and with no weapon.
I'll fight Grant then.
I mean, just saying, you can shoot the other one.
Wait, you're gonna shoot a splash weapon at Grant when Cleo's right next to him?
Yeah, that's a bad thing to do too. Oh, it doesn't do splash damage because I infused it into.
Oh, because it's in the bolt.
bow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot me up.
Grenader.
That's cool.
I love. By the way, I'm going to point this out. Good GM, good playing rule number 1. Even when you betray the group, it doesn't mean the player can't help the group.
That's true. Ooh, nice.
Close. It's like 3 19s in a row.
Going for a new world record.
Yeah. Does 26 hit? Grant.
26. Yep.
Yes, it does.
All right. So crossbow does d8. Grant, you take. Um. 14 fire damage, and on your next turn, you take another d6.
Okay.
Unless you take an action to put yourself off by rolling on the ground or jump in water or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Take that.
How are we looking?
Ah.
It's like cloak's on fire, armor's white hot,
Nice.
blood's boiling.
Yep. All right. We then go to Grant. Not forgetting, of course, your fast healing ability now.
Yep.
Oh shit.
All right. Clearly, the GM put my focus to Khalil, and I'm going to do something that's both mean and nice as I take a full round action to swing my sword, then shield bash.
Ooh.
It's nice because my attack went down, but it's 2 attacks.
All right. So
First
make your attacks.
That's a natural 1 with the sword.
So Khalil very nimbly ducks and dodges out of the way.
And that is a 11 with the shield.
I assume that doesn't hit Khalil's AC. All right. Now, Khalil, as you duck, you manage to reach up and try to grab hold of his sword instead.
Yeah.
Please make a combat maneuver to try and disarm him.
That's pretty sick.
I just had my CMB too, or what?
Plus your CMB.
8.
No.
You try to do the exact same thing he did. You reach up and try to grab the edge of his sword, but realize that you're not in full plate, and you sort of cut your hand a little, and you're like, ah! Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. All right. Okay.
And
so-
does that also trigger the fire damage from Darby, given that's at my actual turn, or will it be next
Yep.
round?
Yep.
Okay.
No. Your
So
fire damage
Darby,
from
roll your
happens.
1d6.
And we determined I don't add my int to that, right?
No, you don't.
Correct.
5.
Okay. All right, and as he begins to continue to burn, the priest cackles and chortles and begins to cast his spell. And as he does so, he reaches towards the ground, and you can kind of see like the sewers themselves seem to almost seem to corrupt underneath your very feet.
Can I
Sewers weren't gross.
determine Arcana knowledge? Or is it spellcraft?
Yep, Arcana.
Fuck, Jesus. 10.
Can I also?
You got no clue.
I'm also trained in Arcana. If I can.
Retired.
Oh man.
23.
Spellcraft. Yeah, 23. Okay, you identify this as Desecrate,
Desecrate.
a spell. Yeah. Now, for those of you being Grant, you gain a +2 hit point per hit die. So at level 3, which I believe you are, it's an extra 6 hit points that you've just gained.
Oh,
Sweet.
wow.
And that is to all undead within this area.
That's no good.
All right. We then go to Khalil. Khalil the disarmed.
Khalil the disarmed. What would it take to pick up my weapon?
You would have to move past Grant, provoking an attack of opportunity, and then you would need to make a move action, which you could do as part of that movement to pick it up. You can do an acrobatics check to try and dodge out of the way so you don't get hit by Grant on your way through. Ponder.
Ponder. I am going to cast Shocking Grasp and attack him with it.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see real quick. Sorry. And then I'm gonna punch him in the face afterwards at a -2.
Okay, bearing in mind that using an unarmed strike when you are not trained provokes an attack of opportunity as well.
Does it even with my oh, just an unarmed strike in
'cause you're
general?
not proof.
Okay.
If you make your attack with the lightning, that's fine. But if you make the attack with the lightning and try to punch him, he's gonna bop you in between.
I think he's just flavoring his touch attack.
Oh no, he's a
he
magus.
gets to, he gets to attack and touch attack.
I'll just shock and grasp him.
Yeah. All right.
But you don't
Make
have
your melee touch
Good
attack.
touch.
Dagger back. Yes, that'd be good.
What do you add to a melee touch attack?
Base
It's
attack
your
bonus
spell.
plus your strength.
Oh, base attack plus, which is 16.
It just hits a different AC. I walk into it.
Okay, you reach out your hand like an electric joy buzzer, and electricity channels through his highly conductive plate armor.
And I actually don't know how much shocking grasp does.
All right, let's find out for you.
Because like I had it down, but it was different from my original number.
Okay, shocking grasp, I believe, does 1d6 per caster level. So at level 3, you should be doing 3d6. You also gain a +3 on the attack roll, which doesn't really matter because you're striking his metal armor.
Ooh. That's 5. I rolled 2 ones.
Aww.
5 points of electric damage. How's Grant looking?
And about this, he peaked a little because of discretion, but now he's back to where he was before.
Man.
Okay. The lightning seems to have a reasonable amount of effect on Grant, but you need to kick him over that one last little leg in order to make the difference. Neville, we're back up to you.
So feeling a little spring in my step from these new kind of wolf-like legs, I'm gonna kind of spring backwards a little bit, fumble through my clothes, and grab out a potion of cure light wounds and chug that. That's 1d8 plus the caster level. Is that right?
2d8, because you're moderate. You've got moderate.
Oh,
But
I got
think
rid
this
of
is
those.
The
These
ones
are,
that he made.
yeah. I'm
Oh,
crappy
the
with
ones that you made, yeah.
potions, apparently.
So that'd be 1d8 plus
I think he used his
plus
only.
3.
I
Well-
think he used his only moderate.
I got 2 hit points back, putting me at a nice total of 3. I'm feeling really
He's like-
springy though.
It's like you get your level 2.
Oh, my
Oh,
level
yeah, you
also.
get your level. So,
Yeah, so that's plus.
Oh, nice.
To a max
plus
of
three.
5.
So I'm up to.
So you get 1 plus your level, max plus 5.
Okay, so 1 plus my level.
Well, that's to his level. Like if he was level 6, it'd only be a 5.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
level 3. So I get a total
So,
of rolling to 1. I get a
4.
total of 4 hit points back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Perfect.
All right.
That's
Next up we have Darby.
Dobby is
A free elf?
going to attack him with just the crossbow this time. I don't have any more. Or, you know what? I'll put acid in it this time.
Why not?
All right, he pulls out a couple of strips of LSD, puts it over the top.
Brave this
It's a
desecrated
lick.
ground.
What?
Wow.
24 to hit
Nice.
against Grant.
Yep.
I need Darby's dice.
So I do a d8 plus d6 again. No.
Here's some more d6.
Okay.
I should
Sorry,
have
that
a
one
spare
there's some
dagger for
D6s
backup.
in
Yeah, that's alright. I'll just roll these. But I'll grab that one later. Oh, nice. 13 plus 17 damage.
Oh my.
Damn.
3 of it's acid.
That's pretty good.
Wait, only 3 of the damage is acid?
Yeah.
No, 6 of the damage, I'm sorry. I don't know where I got 3 from. I was halving it for some reason.
6 acid.
So 6 acid. And what was the rest of the damage?
Just piercing.
7 piercing.
7 piercing?
No, because it's... I still add my int modifier to that. So 10 acid, 7 piercing.
Nice.
I'm assuming I add to the alchemical weapon part, not the piercing damage part.
No, you only do that on splash weapons.
But that's what...
No, because when you put it a crossbow bolt, it's no longer a splash weapon.
Okay.
Is it? I think it's a single target at that point.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it doesn't do splash.
Yeah.
I just thought I still got that bonus.
Well, even with the damage reduction for being a skeleton. And thank you.
All right. Grant's form falls to the ground. A thankful look washes over his face as he hits and his armor rolls to the ground. As he does so, you could see that the priest is kind of angered by this. And he looks to you and he says, "No matter. There are plenty more of you to join our ranks, and this time you will serve me, and not that vile, loathsome paladin." And he raises his scepter and gestures at the skeletons. You see these blades emerge from Darby's smoke cloud and swing down towards the necks of your 2 allies, ready to lop their heads clean off. And that is where we are going to leave it off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us once again. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you had a great time. We had a great time. A very special thank you to Rilka and Templeton, who came and joined us today for this awesome one-shot. I hope you guys had a great time. Did you guys have an awesome time?
It was fun.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Yes, it was fun.
Sorry to almost kill you, Neville.
That's okay. I mean, I was a creep. I get it.
No, it's okay. No,
you did
actually,
set off a couple red flags, but I think overall you're a good guy.
I try.
yeah. Oh no, it was really good too, because the really funny thing is he was never supposed to set off a red flag. That big thing came down to you guys in the audience. You guys were awesome and amazing, and I am gonna try and do this as much as I can, like with the plot twists and stuff like that, because it adds to the game. You know, like I don't want you guys just sitting there watching. I want you guys being a part of this as well. So thank you very much for everyone who participated. Again, we're doing now the big everyone's everything, so everyone will get a chance to talk about what they do. So I'll start because I'm loud. So again, I have been Michael from Ask A Pathfinder. You can find me on Facebook at Facebook/Ask A Pathfinder, or come chat to me directly at discord.me/Ask A Pathfinder. I am literally a free coach for the Pathfinder role-playing game. I love hanging out. I love playing with people, and I would just love to chill and talk to you about this game that I love so much. So if you feel like coming and chatting, don't be afraid to come and hit us up. Next up, we'll go to Templeton. Templeton, tell us a bit about what you've got going.
I do a blog called darkcloudblogs.com, which is about my life, and the main focus has been Mumble Frame Zero, a tabletop war game using Lego, and then my other musings appear on there too, like role-playing stuff. And you can find me at Shades Corvid on Twitter.
Right on.
Ooh.
And of course, we've got a lot of stuff planned for you guys at Color Circuit. Take it away, I assume, Zach?
Oh, I'll let Ricky talk about Living Tempest later. This is a really exciting game, guys, and it's really fun. Hopefully next week we can find some new overlays and get like a scary, spooky sound for the follows instead of what we have right now. Not that I don't enjoy the party music, but
Party music's good.
it is good. So as the show progresses and we get more like comfortable with it, it's gonna get cooler and more features added onto it. So it gets the sparks and whistles and the fireworks, all that stuff probably.
Cool.
But yeah, tomorrow is gonna be Wednesday, which is our Sketch Monkey show, which is our annual weekly sketch writing comedy show, followed by Improv Bagel, which is an improv podcast, and right after that is Burnt Bagel, which is another podcasty kind of improv-y thing, but a lot laxed.
Nice.
If you guys are interested in what we're doing here, Color Circuit is growing and becoming bigger and bigger. Like every week we get like new members and casts. We have a new intro and a website. You guys should definitely follow our Twitter, because I'm trying more and more proactively to tweet out and do involving stuff, so you guys know what's going on with the channel as a whole. And on Friday,
We have an awesome board game show called Ludum Tempest that I co-host with my buddy Blacksmith. Super fun. We just play random different types of board games. Usually throw a couple expansions in there or something. Just try and make it fun, interact with chat, lots of dick jokes. It's a good place to be. We are off air this Friday, but after that it'll be every Friday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, right here at twitch.tv/Color Circuit Live. So
Nice.
yeah, please come and check us out. That'd be a lot of fun.
Speaking of dick jokes, you can also check out besides stuff I do here at Color Circuit. I got a YouTube channel called Fap Check.
Nice.
Fat check?
Fap.
Fap Check.
Well, yeah.
Yes. And mainly we just do a couple podcasts and some different sketch comedy stuff.
Cool.
Right on, guys. Well, thank you again for joining us. You know, it's always a pleasure to have you guys around. And as always, till next time, guys, keep your dice rolling and make sure your ideas stay mindworm free. Have a good one.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming, man. Yeah, no, it was